That's strangely close to Daniel Jones from the Giants. Daniel, is that you? Beat the Chiefs. Show me. If the Broncos and Russell Wilson can show me that they can beat the Chiefs, then I will start believing.
The crowd up. And so are this defense, and Kansas City won't snap the ball again. The Denver Broncos have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs.
David Montgomery on the Lions, former Bear, gonna make this his revenge game for sure. David Montgomery gets the touchdown that ices the game. No! And there's the flag. There's flags. Snap, hold, kick.
Denver wins! Let's go!
They open! No!
What happened? Oh, shit.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the only football podcast. Tonight, we finish off our division predictions with the AFC West, what is expected to be a tough division for the 2025 NFL season. We're also going to get into our top five, and we are going to start our week 1 predictions for the 2025 NFL season. It is an exciting one tonight, guys. And of course, we're going to end it off with the Chives with Kyle. Oh, let's get it. America is football.
America is America. If you don't like it, you can kiss your candy ass. For the moment in time, I don't give a damn. Oh my God!
No!
You loved it.
30-27. Chiefs win. Chiefs win 30-20.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Only Football Podcast. I'm Kyle, and that's Rick.
I think that's go.
AFC West predictions. How are we feeling, Rick?
I am feeling great. And we have Ginger, we have Nick, and we got Lily in the chat too. So I'm feeling fantastic now. I know everybody's back, and so is football. So Kyle, I'm feeling fucking fantastic.
Did you see Florida State beat that ass against Alabama?
I did. I saw Alabama get their shit pushed in by FSU, and all I was doing was thinking, Kyle loves it. Kyle loves this right now.
Getting my shit pushed in?
Also that. I think you like that.
I have a one of those like unlimited amount of car wash memberships, and I'm going through my car wash today. And I was like, let me do a quick vacuum. I'm doing the vacuum. I finish. I'm backing out, getting ready to leave. And I noticed the car next to me has got an Alabama Roll Tide license plate. Mary's in the passenger seat. I'm like, scoot back for a second. Rolled the window down. I'm like, hey. And he's like, he's a good sport about it. But I was like, if I told, my best friend's like a brother. He's a Florida State to what I am Broncos. Like, that's how serious it is.
Yeah.
And he told me before the game, he's like, if Florida State goes out, plays a great game, wins, it's all going to be about how Alabama sucks. It won't be about Florida State being good. And that's what the narrative was Alabama's like run is over and Nick Saban can't save him anymore. And I was like, yeah, but Florida State, like, they beat them in the trenches. Like, they bullied them. And it was a great game. So not just NFL, but college football is back. And that's kind of the week before we get NFL, we get college. And it's just been a great weekend.
Yeah, dude, it was a good one. My I didn't go to this school or anything, but Notre Dame, my Fighting Irish, took a big L against Miami.
Oh, did they lose?
Yeah, they lost 27 out of 24. So it was a close game, and they were ranked in the top 10. I don't know where they're going to be at or where they're at now this week, but they took an L. Illinois won, but Michigan won. And I can't remember if University of Washington won, but you're right. Like having college football and just being able to like watch football, because it was yesterday that Notre Dame played and I had it on one TV and I was playing video games on the other. So just to watch football was just sick, because now we get to talk about the NFL on this show, because week 1 is upon us and this is going to be exciting.
Holy shit. We have Burt and Burger.
Burt and Burger. He said Josh Jacobs is still mid. Raiders going to the bowl, baby. We're going to the bowl.
The Raiders are going into our AFC West predictions, which we are kicking off right now. And we had last week, we had the NFC North predictions, because me and Rick, Bears, Broncos, we saved the best for last. And the AFC West this year is going to be what the NFC North was last year.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to be a dogfight. We got Sean Payton.
Yeah.
We got Andy Reid. We got Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
Never has a division had this. I mean, like,
yeah.
And I don't want to spoil my predictions, but I was just telling people the other day, like Brady's reign, his 7 Super Bowl rings, the whole, like, you got to realize the AFC East was so weak. The Jets, the Dolphins, and the Bills were ass. So, like, the Patriots just, like, they would kind of wake up and have 11 wins. And like they were always the first seed because their division was weak, not just like 2 teams, but 3. They were all bad. And then you get the first seed, so you don't play wild card. And then you get a team like Houston or Miami in the divisional round, and you win that game, and you're really just 1 game at that point away from the Super Bowl. So it's like the Patriots, because the lowest seed plays the highest seed, so the Patriots would have the 1 seed, and they would just play like the worst wild card winner. And next thing you know, it's like you snap your finger, and this team really just needs to win 1 game to get to a Super Bowl. And that's why the Patriots were always in the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship. Kansas City is like the Patriots today, where Kansas City's always been in these AFC Championships. Mahomes' floor, it feels like a conference championship game makes sense, but I don't think Tom Brady ever played in a division like this. And Mahomes being compared to Tom Brady, I think it ends today. So let's talk about the AFC West predictions. Now, how do you want to go? Do you want to go 4-4-3-3, 2-2-1-1?
Yeah, let's do it that way. I think that's what we did. That's what we've at least have done a majority of the divisions that way. And I feel like that's the best way to kind of get the anticipation up. So yeah, let's do the 4. Let's start off with who's finishing 4th. Kyle, this is your division. Start us off.
It's going to be the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, I know the Las Vegas Raiders added Genty. They brought in Geno Smith, which is no doubt an upgrade. But you got to look at this team and say, this is a tough division, and somebody has to finish last.
Yeah.
The Raiders, they bring in Genty. They have Brock Bowers. They have Geno Smith. This might be the best 4th place team in all of football when it comes to the NFL. Like, somebody's got to finish in 4th place, and the Raiders are a newly structured team. Like Pete Carroll, he's a great coach, but this is his year 1 with the team. And just like when Sean came to Denver, year 1 had a lot to do with like inheriting a team that he didn't handpick. And then you got to get through that first season before you can really start to build your program the way you want it.
Yeah.
To think Pete Carroll can just come in and excel with these players he hasn't drafted that the Raiders have accumulated over the last 5 years is just not realistic. And especially when you consider how challenging this division is. Genty, best running back, supposed to be, compared to Adrian Peterson, one of the, if not top 5 running backs of all time.
Yeah.
it's all great, but is it enough? And that is where I go, no, because they're not good enough defensively. And if they had the best defense in the NFL, I would consider moving them up. But I don't know if you're going to be able to ask Geno to go out there and score, 28 plus points a week, and he's going to be able to do it every single week. I don't see how the Raiders are not the worst team in this division. This was actually the easiest part of my prediction.
Yeah, I'm going to agree, even though Burton Burger hates this pick. He's like, shut up. Get me on. Time to roast again. I love it. I love the hate. This is great. J.K. Dobbins is in Denver. But yeah, quick shout out to everybody here. Kamish, Burton Burger, Nick, Lil E, and Jinja. But this was also the easiest part. And again, this isn't to say that the Raiders are going to have a 3-win, a 4-win season. I can see them win 8 games. Like, I can see them winning games. And it really does have to do a lot with what they have on the offense, right? Because you can kind of go down the list and talk about Ashton Genty being picked at 6 by the Raiders in the draft and how do. And ever since they got rid of Josh Jacobs, there's just been nobody on the Raiders squad, anybody that they've picked up, although it's only been just one season, but even that one season was a struggle bus for the running room, so for them to get Genty, and they have Raheem Mostert there as a backup, an experienced veteran, just to kind of back him up in case anything kind of stalls up with him, I think is a much better running back room than they had the prior season. Talk about Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers. Those guys are going to get they're going to get their numbers. I feel like Jacoby Myers, I think, is one of those underrated wide receiver ones. Like, I'm not saying he's a Devontae Adams, a Justin Jefferson, a Jamar Chase, but he's, I would say he's like one of those mid-tier guys where you're just like, oh shit, Jacoby Myers just went off for 7 catches, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. And it's like, he's on the Raiders, by the way, he's going to have a game or two like that. And I think he's a pretty underrated wide receiver one. Then you get to Amari Cooper and Trey Tucker, and you're like, okay, there's a huge fall off there in terms of their wide receivers. Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer is kind of like a foregone conclusion, I feel like, in the tight end room, but it's all about Brock Bowers. The biggest thing, too, for the offense is Geno Smith. A lot of people in Seattle love Geno Smith because he came to the Seahawks and basically had a career resurgence. And a lot of people were like, oh, Geno Smith to Seahawks, this is going to look good. Russ left. He was our best quarterback. He won a Super Bowl. He took him to the playoffs. I think, if I'm not mistaken, his first season here in Seattle. And like I said, a lot of people in Seattle, a lot of Seahawks fans are still like, damn, I want to have Geno Smith. And who's his head coach? Pete Carroll. I think those two guys are going to be just crucial in how this team is going to do this year. But at the end of the day, there's just too much talent in the other 3 teams where I have to put the Raiders last. Other than Jacoby Myers, you have no other good wide receivers. Is Genty going to work out? If he does, sick. If he doesn't, Raheem Mostert's your running back. So you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of question marks in terms of what's going to happen. Then you get to the defense. Max Crosby's your premier player. And maybe you want to talk about Devin White. Like, maybe that's who you want to, who your next guy in line, your next premier guy is. And it's like,
not great.
Not great. not really a needle mover. And Burton Burger is just going in on us right now. And I love it. But this is the easy pick. Raiders are finishing 4th, but I think they have a better than expected year in terms of wins. I think they're going to be in a lot of games, and I think they're just going to outperform a lot of expectations. I just don't see them anywhere near a playoff wild card spot. That's why I got them at number 4.
Can't blame you. I can't. You laid it out nicely. At number 3, I got the Los Angeles Chargers, and this would not be the case had they not had Rashawn Slater tore patellar tendon just a month ago. I mean, this was really the devastating thing for the franchise, because unlike other teams, the Jim Harbaugh brings in his own offensive line coach, his own running back coach, and you got a guy like Justin Herbert who throws 5,000 yards his rookie year, and you're looking at the Chargers, and you're seeing Justin Herbert 146 yards passing. The Chargers won 16-10, and that became the norm. And you're like, okay, well, this is how Harbaugh wants to do things. He wants to run the football, take time of possession, play hard defense, and win low scoring games. And you couldn't really critique it because the Chargers were, I think they won 11 games last season. So you're like
that, yeah.
hey, it's working. So, it did kind of feel like you have a, it's like having a Lamborghini that you live in a school zone and you can't really use. So it's like still a Lamborghini, but you're not really hitting the gas. So
yeah,
the Chargers have just kind of gotten away with being able to not get criticized for how they use their quarterback because of the wins. And the problem is that their identity is now facing a real problem, because one of the best, if not the best, left tackle in the NFL is now not on the offensive line.
Yep.
And you're moving Joe Alt potentially to the left side, and you're kind of playing musical chairs with the offensive line. And I think this wouldn't be so critical if the philosophy of Harbaugh wasn't so we're going to run the football and be physical, because you just lost your most physical tone setter. And now the Chargers, they've surrounded Justin Herbert with more playmakers. So maybe they're going to pull back from running the football and throw a little bit. I love the draft of Omarion Hampton. I thought the Broncos should have drafted Omarion Hampton. I thought that was a really good opportunity there, but they went another way, and I'm okay with that. But that was a guy that was one of the best running backs in this year's class. And then Trey Harris and Keandre in the passing game, they have a chance to be more diverse and explosive, almost like they kind of have to, because they're not going to be able to win the same way. And if the blocking holds up and the offensive line, remains intact, they might be able to go out there and win 9-10 games. But the fact that I'm even having these question marks, because I'm asking the Chargers to do something that they didn't do last year, and can they win in a different way? Now, I trust Jim. I trust Jim. Like, he's a great proven head coach. I trust his ability to flex, but there's two other teams in this division that are going to keep the exact same philosophy with the same players. And the Chargers are kind of trying something new. Defensively, coordinator Jesse Minster, he proved last season that he can take less talent and turn it into a capable top 10 unit. And the Chargers added depth throughout the defense. They have, of course, Derwin James, the best safety in the NFL, in my opinion. Khalil Mack is still playing at a high level, even though it feels like he wouldn't be, but he is. Linebacker Dayan Henley, and then they have some uncertainty in the corner room. So maybe there'll be a liability against the pass. They really have yet to announce the starters in that group, with Dante Jackson, Tariq Still, Cam Hart, and Benjamin St. Just, all in consideration. Like, if you get to September 1st and you haven't announced your starters in the defensive back room, that's not a good sign. Like, it was like Denver didn't have to, wait till September to be like, hey, Surtain's going to be, DB number one. It's like, when you have good players, you kind of know the depth chart. This signals we don't really know who's going to elevate to the top. We're going to try different things until we figure it out. And that's just another reason that this year is more about the Chargers being fluid in their identity and their personnel and trying to figure it out, where I think the other two teams already got it figured out. And that's why I got the Chargers at 3. But this is the best 3 in the NFL. And I think they're a playoff team.
Yeah, I also am thinking the Chargers are the best 3 because I've got them finishing 3rd in this division too. And I think I've got the top 3 teams finishing within 1 to 2 games of each other. If you guys were here or saw our stream of the NFC AFC North last week, I had the NFC North. I kind of had them in halves.
Rick, real quick,
yeah.
For this guy Brazy, just so you know, I can't pronounce the Broncos' first round draft pick. That doesn't mean I don't know who he is.
We don't do names here.
Yeah, we don't do names here. I said Jahad Barron. Like I know who he is. I just don't know how to. We don't do names. I just need you to know that.
Brazy, I think you've been here before. Like I kind of recognize the name, but this is our 4th year, and we still forget who coaches who the quarterback is, what their name is. Like that's just our thing. We don't do names. We don't do math.
Sorry, Rick. Go ahead.
No. You're good. And real quick, I'm going to read this by Kona Spence. Hey, gentlemen, great show. The Broncos will go 13-4 with losses at the Chargers, at the Eagles, at Washington, and of course at Kansas City on Christmas. You really think the NFL will let Kansas City lose on Christmas? I love it. Maybe it's those dumbass sunglasses you're in.
Oh, my bad. Let's lose the hat too. Let's just change everything for you, Brazy.
Let's change it all for Brazy. We're gonna restart the show. I've also really just getting back to it. I also think Chargers are finishing 3rd, but again, these top 3 teams are gonna finish within a game or 2 of each other. Like I think the winner is gonna have maybe 12 wins. And that's because they all have to play each other within the division. Now, the Chargers, again, Harbaugh's going into his 2nd year with Herbert. They brought in a Marion Hampton through the draft. They have Najee Harris, who is dealing with some sort of eye thing that I nobody really knows what's going on right now. But I think those are 2 good backs. And if Najee Harris can start week 1, or even just be available to go week 1, I think it's going to be good for Marion Hampton to have a veteran running back like that, kind of showing him the way and stuff. Now, Justin Herbert, he had a great season last year. I mean, he had single-digit interceptions. That right there is just wow to have, in your 4th year, I believe, 5th year it was last season.
Yeah.
Whatever it was for him. Like that is just amazing. And again, they did run the ball a lot. It's Harbaugh and it's what's his name? Greg Roman as your OC. So you're going to be running the ball a lot. The offensive line is going to be huge. Now, obviously with Rashawn Slater being out, you move Joe Alt to left tackle, and then you kind of bring in Mekhi Becton, which I think was a good move for them to bring him in to bolster that line. And you didn't expect Rashawn Slater to go, but it is what it is. They're flexing. That's what they're doing. And you also got to remember Ladd McConkey had a really, really good season last year as a rookie. Back half of the season, that was their guy. Was Ladd McConkey. Am I frozen right now?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. I thought I was frozen.
Oh, Nick said you are. I mean, I can hear you, but
okay. Because Nick's like, Rick might be frozen, of course. And Brazy, just so you know as well, I always have internet problems too. So I hope that doesn't piss you off. Yeah, you bring in Ladd McConkey, and I think a very underrated move. Even Kona Spence is like, yeah, you're frozen. An underrated move, which they were waiting, for a while, was bringing in Keenan Allen, bringing back Keenan Allen after he was with the Bears for a little bit for that 1 year. I think bringing him back is going to do wonders for that wide receiver room, because now you aren't really relying on Quentin Johnston to be the wide receiver 2 that you have been hoping he'd be since you drafted him, right? So now you have Keenan Allen, who's a sure-handed receiver, who's obviously not going to be Keenan Allen of 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it is. But I mean, he still produced for the Bears last season. Underrated move to bring him back. And I mean, he even said it himself. I'm either going to be a Bear or I'm going to be a Charger. And he's a Charger now. So I think that offense is going to do really, really well. It's just, you can kill it in the regular season, but they have had two of like the most embarrassing playoff losses in the last 4 seasons, whatever it was. And it's just been bad for them. The biggest thing for the Chargers is, can they take regular season success into the playoffs?
No, they can't.
They can't, because they're going to Charger it away. And that's what it is. They're just going to Charger it away. And that's who the Chargers are. That's who they've been from recent memory. And really kind of all that I remember the Chargers to be, going back to Phillip Rivers. So you talked a little bit about their defense. Honestly, I think Khalil Mack takes a big step back this year, and I don't think their defense is as good as it was last season. Yeah, I have a feeling like he's not going to be as good as he's been with the Chargers this season. I think a lot of this is going to fall on Derwin James and their defensive line to really kind of ramp up that defense. I just don't know if Khalil Mack has it in him again. But I could be very, very wrong. That's just what I think, is he's going to take a big step back. And if Khalil Mack takes a step back, I think this defense really needs everybody around him to take a step forward and be that next man up mentality to be a better defense. But yeah, I've got the Chargers third. And I think it comes down to the wire the last 2-3 weeks of the season as to whether or not they make a wild card push.
Yeah, no, totally get it. And potentially their defensive coordinator, same thing with Vance Joseph for Denver. These could be head coaching candidates next year if they do a good job. I mean, because the Chargers, remember, they had Greg Roman as the OC and then Jesse Minter. I don't know if Greg Roman would be a head coaching candidate.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
On the defensive side of the ball, the Chargers went from the 24th in points allowed in 2023 under Derek Ansley to number 1 in the NFL last year. And that's why the Chargers were able to play the style of football they did, was because their opponent had 10 points. I mean, I remember we were doing a podcast and it was like week 6 or 7, and the Chargers were giving up like 12 points a game. And I was like, that's insane that they're able to do that. So that is the one kind of like saving grace for this team right now, is their defense when it comes to keeping, and it wasn't like they didn't give up yards. They gave up, a lot of yards, not a lot, but more yards than the points per game would suggest. But they just would bend but not break, as they say. Like, they just would hold their own in the red zone and prevent teams from actually getting points on the board. And if they can do that again, this is potentially a head coach candidate, because he's won, remember, Harbaugh brought him from Michigan after winning the national championship. But before that, he served 4 years playing with John Harbaugh in Baltimore. So he's like really plugged into the NFL.
Yeah.
He had like a one-off year in Vanderbilt, but when Jim was hired here, he was like, that's my guy. And he came here and took one of the bottom quarter defenses to number 1 in points per game. So we definitely have to keep our eye on the Chargers defensively, because we say defense wins championships, and that is true. But there are 3 great defenses in this division, and with the Chargers offensively, you and I are in agreement. But at number 2, Rick,
here we go.
Wait, is your camera, is it able, if you turn it on, are you frozen right now?
Let's see. Am I still frozen?
Yeah. Do you want to see if you exit and come back?
Let me exit. I'm going to come right back.
Yeah. I'll talk for a minute.
Okay.
So the Chargers ranked 14th against the run last year, which that is not, that's about middle of the pack for a team that was number 1 in points allowed per game. You wouldn't think that they would finish 14th against the run. It contributed to an 11th place finish in total defense. The team posted a number 7 rank against the pass, though. So you got, all in all, an 11th place finish in total defense. And that's why I say it's really impressive that they finished number 1 in points allowed per game, because they did give up, the 14th most rushing yards per game. But somehow they were able to just keep their opponents from putting points on the board. Very impressive. So at number 2.
Oh my God.
For the first time in 10 years, I have the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, shit! Kyle!
Kansas City Chiefs!
Wow. Their reign has ended.
Their reign does end. And I said this when we first started this stream. Everyone compares Kansas City to Tom Brady. Tom Brady was only able to do what he did because all he had to do was win one football game and he was in the Super Bowl. And that one football game was the AFC Championship. For the last 6 years, the Chiefs have been in the same situation. The Chargers, the Broncos, and the Raiders, they ran through all of them, got the number 1 seed, went into the wild card round. They didn't play. They had a bye week. Then they go into the divisional round. They win. And then it's like, all right, who's it going to be? Baltimore, Buffalo? You win that game, you're in the Super Bowl. They just cruise to the Super Bowl every single season. Things are different now. There is no cruising to the Super Bowl. You got a team that is getting ready to lace up the cleats, and Rashee Rice takes a 6-game suspension. Then we look at Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster, and we look at their last year. I urge you to go look at their stats and ask yourself, is that a reliable number 2? Either one of them? No, they are not. I mean, they just aren't. The numbers aren't there. They're not. So you're like, well, obviously they have to have a better answer. And then you look at the rest of the wide receivers. They're all undrafted guys, which I'm not against undrafted guys, but they have proven nothing. And there's one other guy that was drafted 50th overall, I believe, from the New England Patriots, a 2nd-round pick, 3 years ago, but he has 16 receiving yards in his career. I mean, the fact that the Minnesota Vikings and the Chiefs were in the same situation, but you saw the Vikings called Denver for Devon Bailey. They got the Panthers on the phone for Adam Thielen. They were trying to make a move. They were trying to do something to fix their issue. The Chiefs, they're not doing anything. They're just saying, no, this is how we're going to roll. We're going to do it again. They've finished 15th in points per game the last 2 years in a row. And you would think because of that, when we saw Mahomes go out and throw for 51 touchdown passes, over 5,000 yards, he was flinging the ball in different. I mean, the offense was dynamic. You watched them last year, and they went 13-0 in one-score games.
Yeah,
11-0 in one-score games. Regardless, I can promise you this: that will not happen again. That doesn't happen twice. You don't go 13-0 in one-score games. That means every tip ball, every flag, every blocked field goal. Denver knows what I'm talking about. Everything went their way when there was 1 minute left. And that is just not how football works. You don't get that kind of luck 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And if you're a Chiefs fan, you go, yeah, we're not getting that luck. So what are we going to do about it? The Chiefs didn't do anything about it. That's my point. They didn't do anything to make you feel like they're going to go out and be a dynamic offense again. Mahomes is great. That's why I don't have him finishing 3rd. But I think that the Chiefs have gotten so comfortable doing more with less that they think that they're going to be able to go out and compete in this division. And I wouldn't be shocked if they finished 3rd. I really wouldn't.
Wow.
That week 1 against the Chargers, I think the Chargers win. I don't think the Chiefs are a juggernaut of a team. They played their best football game against Buffalo in the AFC Championship. That was their best football game of the year. But you know what? The whole entire season we watched them, we all were not impressed. None of us were, even Chiefs fans. It was like, Yeah, they won 16-13. They won 20-23. Nothing was impressive. They played one good game against Buffalo, and they got absolutely humiliated in the Super Bowl. They were embarrassed. The final score, it was 22-44 or something like that.
Yeah.
Not a representation of what happened. It was 40-0 or something like that at one point. It was an absolute just embarrassment. And that is what happens when a team that played a really good AFC championship game, but they're just really not that type of a team, goes into the Super Bowl and plays a team that was really him. The Philadelphia Eagles were better in every phase of the game, and they bullied Kansas City. And you would think Kansas City would come back and go, we got a lot of stuff we got to figure out. But to me, it feels like they're running it back. I get the same vibes with the Cincinnati Bengals when their OC says, we just got to go score more points than the other team. Tried that last year and it didn't work. Why would you go with the same philosophy? I feel like Andy Reid and Mahomes and Travis Kelce are like, hey, as long as we're together, we can overcome anything. But I think that is just them underestimating this division. I got Kansas City coming in second.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Kyle coming in hot. I think we all know who's number one.
And I will just add this. Yes, did the Broncos win 38-0 when they played their backups? Absolutely. It doesn't matter. Throw it away. But the game before that, Bo Nix drove down the field and controlled the clock. And with 1 second left, the defense blocked a field goal because of an offensive lineman's miscue. We lost the game. In Arrowhead, Bo Nix put his team on a 30-yard field goal and said, go ahead, kick the field goal. I did it. And guess what? They let him down. And you know what sucks about it is like everybody says, yeah, Bo Nix, he can't even beat Mahomes like Mahomes beat us that day. Our offensive line beat us that day. And I just think until I see Mahomes actually get beat by this team, because he didn't get beat by this team. And then, no, there's just way too many question marks offensively with the Kansas City Chiefs right now.
And I agree with the question marks on the Kansas City Chiefs team. Like I even KC right now in the chat is probably like, yeah, but he also makes a really good point, which is why I think the comparisons to Tom Brady are legit, and Mahomes doesn't care. He'll throw to anyone. And that's what those great quarterbacks do. Is okay, my wide receiver one is suspended 4 games, 6 games, whatever the case may be. I'm going to throw to our first round pick, Xavier Worthy. I'm going to throw to Hollywood Brown and to Juju Smith-Schuster, who are, still decent wide receivers. I'm not talking about wide receiver one Worthy yet, at least for Xavier Worthy, but I'm talking mid-tier wide receiver 2s, wide receiver 3s right now. At number 2, I have to disagree, Kyle. I'm going with the Broncos at number 2. The Broncos, correct me if I'm wrong, they finished 3rd in the division or 2nd in the division?
They finished 3rd.
They finished 3rd with a wild card.
Ahead of them, 11 wins.
Yeah. Okay. So and the Broncos had 10. So they were within a game of each other. Was it 10 wins or 9 wins? No, it was 10, right? 10. Yeah. It was that last win against Kansas City.
I put a bet in that they would win exactly 10 games, and I got
You're
it
like,
right.
I love it. I got the Broncos finishing. What's that?
This year it's 12.
Ooh, I love it. So I've got the Broncos coming in 2nd in the division. Again, between the Broncos, the Chiefs, and the Chargers, I think they're all going to finish within a game or 2 of each other again for the 2nd year in a row. Now, why am I going with the Broncos? I mean, the defense is already just unmatched. I think in this division, I think the Broncos have the best defense out of all 4 teams, like point blank. Kansas City is right there next behind them, but I think the Broncos definitely have the much, much better defense. I mean, we got to look at what they did last year, right? You got the reigning defensive player of the year in Patrick Surtain.
Patrick Surtain.
Yeah, Nick Bonito, Allen, Jonathan Cooper, Singleton now too, right? Bring in, oh my God, what's his name?
Zach
The
Allen,
linebacker? No, the linebacker you guys brought in.
Drake Greenlaw.
Drake Greenlaw. So you make additions, you make even more additions to the defense that is already awesome. And then you draft Jahdae Barron as a cornerback from, I believe it was Texas, to come in opposite of your boy Pat Surtain. And you still got Riley Moss, who was decent last year as a rookie and, you know, is only going to improve. So the defense for me, for the Broncos, is bar none the best defense. And while I agree that defenses, you do need a very, very good defense to get to the Super Bowl, and they need a good defense to win championships. I'm still taking the Broncos second in the division. It's mostly what's going on for the offense. Bo Nix had an amazing rookie year. We've talked about it throughout the entire offseason, how great his rookie year was. Numbers wise, he was behind Jaden Daniels in like yards or touchdowns and just certain numbers. But you're right. Like, what's that?
More touchdowns. He was second all time in rookie touchdown passes.
Okay.
Second all time. Justin Herbert was first.
Oh, okay. So, and Bo Nix, again, to his credit, had an amazing year, and it started off a little shaky, and he just was like, okay, this is what I can do. This is what Sean Payton's telling me to do, and I'm going to execute, and he executed. He had a great long ball. He showed a lot of heart, a lot of promise in that playoff game against the Bills. Like, he was one of those guys, and I've said it on here before, who took it upon himself to try to win the game. He's like, okay, if my wide receivers aren't open, or if the play falls off, whatever, it breaks down, I'm going to try to get these yards. And that's what a quarterback does. Whether it is your Tom Brady, who is going to dump it off to the running back, who's going to get it to the wide receiver, or if it's Patrick Mahomes, who is falling sideways and still somehow slings it to his wide receiver for a touchdown, whatever the case may be, I think Bo Nix has that in him, where he's going to be like, okay, it's my time to figure this shit out, and I'm going to do everything possible to figure out how we can win this game. Now, when we get to running back, RJ Harvey, awesome pickup in the draft. You also got J.K. Dobbins there, who is coming from the Chargers, if I'm not mistaken, last season. So you got some good guys there. Will RJ Harvey work out? Can J.K. Dobbins stay healthy and, you know, play a full season? Those are the question marks right there. And even that, if not, you still got Jaleel McLaughlin there as I like the wide receiver room mostly because I do like Cortland Sutton, and I think Pat Bryant's upside is really, really good. It's just Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin. Like, can those guys really step it up? Marvin Mims is your speedster guy, and
he broke out.
And he did break out last season. I think he made the Pro Bowl as like a return specialist or something, right? So
he's that just kind of in history.
Yeah,
and a rookie that made the first team All Pro his first 2 years in the NFL. He's the best in the league.
Yeah, for sure. So
returning right now, but you've seen that dynamic return ability start to come into the passing game.
Mm-hmm. So I think there's definitely potential with Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin. Troy Franklin is coming from Oregon, where Bo Nix was like, that was his number one target. So they have that connection there. And the biggest addition, I think, to me, is bringing in Evan Ingram at tight end. We've talked about how little production the tight end position from the Broncos they had last year. And to bring in Evan Ingram, it just gives Bo Nix another kind of insurance weapon alongside Cortland Sutton to be like, cool, bam, dump it off. There's 7 yards. Now it's a 2nd and 3, something like that, right? Like, I just think it was a very, very smart move that the Broncos organization and really probably Sean Payton to be like, we were weak at the running game and we were weak at our tight ends. So let's bring in a running back and let's draft a running back and let's get one of the better tight ends in the league in Evan Ingram. Okay, holes are filled. So let's unleash this offense. Why I don't have them at number one is consistency for my number one team is one of those, like, you to me, you won't get picked until the the dynasty, I guess we'll say, is over. And that's why the Broncos are 2. But I think that is going to be a very close 1 and 2, a very close 2 and 3 for that matter as well. But I've got the Broncos at 2. I think it gives me a lot of joy to see how much hope you have, because I can't wait to be in that boat with you, to have like all the hope after such a successful year that the Broncos have had last season. And again, last season was one of those years where the Broncos were predicted to be picking number 1 overall this past draft. And guess what happened? Nope. We got a wild card. Our quarterback, who everybody was saying was a second, third rounder, was he can only get better from here. I mean, dude, it's great to see that the Broncos are like back up on that, like one of the better teams in the league, like top third teams of the league this year. And mostly it's because you're my boy, because if you weren't, I would give a shit about the Broncos, and I probably wouldn't care. But I'm happy to see that the Broncos are just kind of like on the up and up. Especially after the whole Russ thing. Like it's just great to see that they were able to get past that decision and be like, let's cut our losses here and move forward, because what are we supposed to do? Just keep looking back at the Russ situation and crying about it? No, cut off the head. Let's move forward with Bo Nix. And that's what they're doing. They got a wild card berth last year. It's only supposed to go up from here. So now, Kyle, you got a number 1.
At number 1, in the team that will secure the number 1 or number 2 seed in the AFC, which means a home playoff game for the first time in a decade, the Denver mother-loving Broncos. They're back. Look, last year I said, and I went back and watched the tape actually yesterday. I said that Bo Nix was going to be a lot better than people thought. I had already seen the preseason, and I said, oh, we haven't had anything that looked remotely close to that. And then that's when I came on and said Denver's going to win 10 games this year. And I went on to say that, PFF and other channels said Denver doesn't have a lot of guys. And it's like, no, they don't have a lot of guys that but they have a lot of guys, and that's what happened. I mean, when you talk about just straight depth, it is insane to think, how could a team even be this deep on defense? Like how could that even happen? So deep. I mean, but look, me taking Denver at number 1 overall, it's not blind optimism. Like last year I was optimistic about Denver winning 10 games. This year I'm reporting the news. This is not blind optimism. This whole thing that I'm telling everybody, it's rooted in the reality of an exceptionally deep team. I mean, you got guys like Sam Ellinger, who are turning down millions of dollars that could be on a 52-man roster elsewhere because they want to stay in Denver rather than being on a 53-man roster. And if you want to wait until the Broncos prove what I'm telling you right now, that's your choice. But eventually, I'm telling you, everybody listening to this will arrive at the same conclusion as I have. This situation is no different from the fans who chose to ignore everything Bo Nix demonstrated in the preseason last year before they finally believed that we had our franchise quarterback. Now, there are optimistic fans, as you say, that there's fans that are realist, and then there's fans that are pessimist. I don't associate with any of these categories. I just want to tell you what I know. And what we do know is that we have our franchise quarterback. We also know that Bo Nix is miles above where he was last year. He had multiple interviews with people that have come into Denver and sat down with Bo. And Bo has said, hey, whatever I told you last season, it wasn't true. I was acting, I was playing the role of like, saying all the right things. he pretty much came out and just said, I was memorizing the plays. Like you can't get to that next level of, okay, but why? The why behind the play. You're just so focused on like getting the play in, getting the play out, and then remembering like where your first read's supposed to be.
Yeah.
He's in a much different place now, where now he's like, okay, I'm not just out here trying to, do the bare minimum. I'm actually like, I know this play. This is the first year since Bo Nix has been in high school that he's had the same head coach and the same offense being ran. Every single year in college. We talk about his 6 years in college. He had a new play caller every year. This is for once continuity, and Bo Nix is loving it. He's like, I can actually go out there and teach people. I can actually be the leader I'm supposed to be because I know why we're running it. I can coach up my players, and he doesn't seem like a guy going into year 2. He didn't throw a touchdown pass until week 4, yet he finished second all time. And now it's like we're taking this guy and we're starting from scratch with a brand new season. And we're saying, well, what can he do? What can he do for us now? I mean, Bo Nix thrived in Sean Payton's system despite a shaky running game. We know that last year we could not run the ball. Sean Payton wrote it on his play card, and they zoomed in on it on the broadcast. It said, run the ball with an exclamation mark.
I remember that.
Sean had to do that because he's like, God, it was so easy for him to get away from the run when you can't do it effectively. Yeah. You're like, but if you become one-dimensional, that's an issue too. So last year, Denver was like forcing themselves to do something that they didn't have the talent to do. And Bo Nix still like was able to thrive in this system. I mean, the receiving corps behind Cortland Sutton, who had 1,081 yards last season, the tight ends combined for less than 400 yards together.
Yeah. And like 4 touchdowns, I think it was.
Yeah, whatever. It's something tiny. And now you bring in Evan Ingram. I mean, a versatile joker that you've heard Sean Payton talk about, these joker players that create a mismatch that you can motion out and then bring them back in. And then you can say, okay, they're running man because this guy followed him. You bring him back. Bo Nix audibles. Sean Payton was holding back. His play calling, he does a lot of pre-snap motion, but not so much last year because he didn't want to overload Bo Nix. Bo Nix has made it clear that he's ready for more. And this is what he's going to get. He's going to get Sean unloading a playbook, and he's going to have real weapons to throw the ball. Marvin Mims, like I said, he broke out last season. You got guys like Troy Franklin, who Sean said every single year there's 1 or 2 players in training camp that just dominate. And it's like, whoa, okay, that he's here now. He's arrived. And this year it's Troy Franklin. And Troy Franklin was Bo Nix's number 1 target in Oregon. And now he is, I mean, look, he's the reason Denver decided to cut some of, their receivers and make those type of roster moves. So you got Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims and Cortland Sutton and Evan Ingram. That right there is a really good lineup. If you don't know it now, like later you will. You'll think these names will have a different effect on you. Audric Estime getting cut, the whole thing about that is like Sean Payton, if they were in a position right now where they weren't close to a Super Bowl, maybe you keep him for a couple more years to see what he becomes. But that one spot, Sean's like, we could win a Super Bowl, but we don't have room for like coaching up a guy. Like you got to be at this level. Because we're in a window right now and it's not going to last forever. We got to seize our opportunity. And because of that, Audric Estime is with the Eagles. And this is what I'm really trying to say about this team is like the Broncos, when Sean Payton came out and said, I've coached 7 teams in my 20 plus years of being a head coach. I've coached 7 teams that I felt like could win the Super Bowl. And this is one of them. And it's because he needs, like, look, I know it. Maybe you guys don't feel it yet. Some of you know it, but Sean knows it, and he's with the team every day. But do our players know it? That's what matters, right? Because our players need to not just like, it's like you can get a job that it's a dream job, and then you get imposter syndrome, and then you feel like you're not you're not really like good enough for that job. There needs to be like something mentally that the Broncos players really not just like understand that they're good enough to win a Super Bowl, but they really walk in it. And that's why I feel like Sean Payton went out and said what he said about this team being a Super Bowl team is like, I've been doing this for a long time and you guys are special, but you need to know that and not take advantage of it because it won't be like this every year. But on defense, we got a top 5 unit, 3rd in points allowed last year. You add Dre Greenlaw and Hufanga, which is just absurd.
Yeah.
You go along with the most versatile defensive back in the draft, Jahade Barron, which it allows you to do a lot. If Riley Moss gets injured, you put him on an island. If McMillan gets hurt, you put him in the nickel. Like you can do whatever you want. This guy didn't give up a single touchdown last year, and he won the award for the best defensive back in the country. And you added him to Surtain. This is absolutely bonkers. And people also forget that our safety was the 3rd ranked safety in all of sports last year. All of the NFL. Brandon Jones. Like he went out there and he was supposed to be like an exact like replacement for Justin Simmons, not better, but not worse. He was better. He was actually better. He was a ball hawk, and you're adding Hufanga to be right next to him. And then I got to give love to Nick Bonito, who was another guy that nobody knew, but by November, he was 3rd in Defensive Player of the Year. 3rd. I mean, dude. And then you extend Jonathan Cooper, and then you got the most quarterback pressures and most quarterback hits with Zach Allen up the middle. You still got John Franklin Myers. You still got Malcolm Roach. The defensive line's intact. I don't know how anybody's going to score points. Like I'm looking at this defense, and I'm like, 85 Bears, 2,000 Ravens. 2025 Denver Broncos. Like I'm telling you, like this. I've been watching my team for a long time. We've never had a team like this ever in my lifetime. Even like in 2013, Manning was tearing it up. Our defense was not good. That's why we lost the Super Bowl. In 2015, our defense was amazing. Our offense sucked. So, like, realistically, Denver, their combination of offense and defense, Bo Nix takes that year 2 jump. RJ Harvey, Denver feels really good about. And you got to remember, they have their own internal draft strategy, and they are not like clinging to the national media's ADP. Wherever the media thinks Bo Nix should have been drafted in the 2nd round, Sean could give 2 shits about. And he said, if we like one of these guys, we're unconcerned where other people think we should draft them. So when Denver was on the clock and they took RJ Harvey, and everyone went, what? Why did they take RJ Harvey? He was supposed to be available later. Sean's not playing like the same game. You know what I mean? He's going with the guys that he evaluated and said, these guys are going to be really good. So I love the addition of RJ Harvey. They get the wide receiver out of Illinois, Pat Bryant, who Sean reminds him of Michael Thomas. And this team just like reloaded, and you bring in Nix's confidence in year 2. I think Nix could win MVP. I expect the Broncos to be in the AFC Championship. I expect this to be the best defense in the NFL, and I sure as hell expect them to win their division.
Woo! So we got Kyle with the Broncos winning the division. Crafty in the chat, he says, does picking a division winner other than the Broncos result in a ban? Immediately, Crafty. Yes, immediately.
No, I didn't have the Broncos winning the division last year.
But you will get banned this year. For myself,
this year, I'm gonna just criticize you.
Dumb. Speaking of not having the Broncos winning the division, I am picking the Kansas City Chiefs, and if you guys look at the bottom on the ticker, that is who we think is going to be winning the division 1 through 4. I've got the Chiefs winning. And again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier as I was picking the Broncos to finish second, is the Chiefs have done it for however many years in a row now that they've done it. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Creed Humphrey, Chris Jones, those guys are all still there. Those are the pillars of that Kansas City Chiefs team, in my opinion. Yes. Did they not make splashy offensive moves? They didn't. I mean, Rashee Rice himself is going to be suspended. That's their number one wide receiver. And he already had his issues from last year as well. From this, which is what is stemming from the suspension, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, about this car crash. There's a lot of things that you can say about the Chiefs offensively that you're like, I don't like it at all. But like I said earlier as well, some of these quarterbacks, these very, very unicorn type of quarterbacks, these franchise greats, kind of, when we're talking about Mannings, when we're talking about the Bradys, we're talking about the Mahomes as well as and the Breezes and whatever have you, Aaron Rodgers, blah, 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 blah. But I think Mahomes is definitely one of those guys where if Xavier Worthy is going to be his first option, other than Travis Kelce, right? Then he's going to make it work somehow. Now, Xavier Worthy obviously is a speedster guy, and Travis Kelce is more than likely going to be his first option, even as a tight end. But again, I really do think Mahomes can play with anybody and can get the ball to anyone, and that's what he's going to do. And Isaiah Pacheco, Travis Kelce, both had really down years. Pacheco got injured. Kelce just wasn't there mentally, it seems like. But now he's engaged to Taylor Swift. So who gives a shit? He's like, cool, my relationship stuff is already done. I'm set. I don't got to worry about that. I don't have to be on tour proving to her that I love her.
But what about his relationship with Mahomes? That's the relationship I care about.
That's a good point too, because obviously from the very bad year he had last year, there was questions there. Like, is the timing off? Are they not practicing enough? Are they not, on the same level here? Like, what is wrong? Maybe that finally gets figured out this year. Again, it's been 1 year that Travis Kelce has had one of those years where you're just like, what the fuck happened to this guy, right? Like from top tight end to like, mid-tier level, it seemed like. And then he went off, or he kind of went off in the playoffs, and you're like, okay, this is who we remembered Travis Kelce to be. So all that being said, I mean, I've got them at number one. They've still got Jawan Taylor, right tackle, but that's really in my opinion, their only question mark on the line, and has been for the last 3 seasons, it feels like. But you go to their defense, and they still have a good defense. Again, I've got them second only to the Broncos in this division. And then I've got the Chargers, because I really do think the Chargers defense is going to take a step back. You just can't be that dominant for 2 years in a row in terms of points scored, right? But George Karlaftis, Chris Jones, McDuffie, Nick Bolton, these guys are experienced. They've been to Super Bowls. They've played full seasons. They're good. Like, they are experienced, and they know what to expect. They know how they need to play to continue to be division winners and to continue to be the Chiefs that we know over the last 7 or so years. And that's why I've got the Chiefs winning. But, if my predictions are correct, if the Broncos finish second and they're in another wild card spot, and the Chiefs look like they looked last regular season and in the Super Bowl, tides are going to turn soon, man, because the Broncos are just continually, gradually moving up in terms of like talent, winning games, and just overall being bullies. The cards are going to be different next year for the Chiefs and the Broncos, and even the Chargers. Maybe, like, I think they're still going to be in the mix with Harbaugh and all these other guys. But for right now, until you can beat them, until, kind of how I said a couple of years ago when the Broncos were taking on the Chiefs, once you beat them, then I'll believe what I see, and then I'll pick the Broncos. But until then, the Chiefs have been kings of the AFC West for a while now, and I think this season is not going to be any different. But I definitely think the tide is starting to turn if the Chiefs do not make the moves they need to make. But all that being said, I got the Chiefs winning the AFC West division.
Breaking news.
Uh-oh.
For the first time in NFL history, a Philadelphia Eagle has been voted number 1 on the top 100 players of 2025. Saquon
Barkley.
has
Wow.
been voted as the number 1 player in the NFL for the top 100 in 2025. Barkley rushed for an all-time high of 2,504 yards, including the playoffs, led his team to a Super Bowl victory, and earned Offensive Player of the Year. Voted by his peers, he outranked quarterbacks like Lamar, Josh Allen, underscoring the dominance in a quarterback-driven league and sparking discussions on player value. Saquon Barkley has done it. He has, I never thought I would see a running back at number 1.
Number 1, yeah.
I mean, Josh Allen won MVP, and Saquon Barkley was voted number 1. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, that is breaking. I love that breaking news, by the way. That was awesome. And Krabby said, breaking news, Rick is fired. So
Yeah,
that was.
I get I actually, look, I get the Chiefs thing. The Chiefs have proven for an extended period of time, like, that they can overcome their issues. Like, they understand each other. They've been with each other for so long. They know what each other are thinking, where, like, the Denver thing is, it's like they're like kind of a young team with a lot of upside. And like, the Chiefs are obviously the safe pick. That's why they're the favorite, minus 130 on all betting websites, but they're a slight favorite. And we'll see. Like, my whole thinking is, like, the Chiefs, everyone just expects that they're the new Patriots. But I'm just trying to remind people that the Patriots never played in a division like this. This is the NFL. Like, it's hard to be dominant in this league every single year. And the fact that Sean Payton and Jim Harbaugh are in this division, it almost seems to me that it's more unlikely that the Chiefs can't continue finishing first every year than it would be likely that they do. Even though they've been doing it for so long, things are different now. And I think people are getting caught with their old way of thinking. They're not being progressive in understanding, like, okay, the tides have turned, but we're not really, like, the betting, the national audience, the temperature overall, it hasn't turned with the tides yet. And we're going to have to wait and see. Like, either I'm wrong about this. I don't feel like I am, but if I am, like, the Chiefs had a hell of a good season. And if they do that, then maybe they are the next dynasty. But this year does seem like a turning point. Mahomes turns 30 in September. I've been watching him my whole life. Like, the last 2 years, he hasn't looked like he's gotten better. I'll put it that way. I mean, you look at his rookie year and see the throws he's making, and you're like, I mean, it was 2018, and I said, yeah, he's going to be the greatest ever. I never say things like that. But when you watched him his rookie year throwing the type of passes, like unsackable, rolling out of the pocket, like, just the insanity of what he was doing out there, left-handed throws, as much as it sucks to say, like, I knew immediately that he was way better than Tom Brady. Talent, at least, like, we can talk about rings and all that, like preparation and longevity, but just like, when I compare a quarterback, I say, give me their best season, which for Tom Brady would be the 50 touchdown season with Randy Moss. And then give me the other guy's best season. I want to see both of them at their best. And I'll tell you who I think's better. Just the eyeball test. Like, let me watch him. Mahomes was way better than Tom Brady. I mean, Mahomes, his 2018 season was probably the greatest. I mean, Manning's 2013 season with the 55 touchdown passes, that record's been held for a decade now.
Yeah, that's good.
Like, nothing, that's number 1. But Mahomes 2018 is probably 2. But, like, Mahomes has done things that Manning didn't do. So then he jumps Manning because of the amount of Super Bowls he's been in his first 5 years. I just feel like we're at a point with Mahomes where it's like, well, what's it going to be? Because the last 2 years, that guy in 2018, I haven't seen on Sunday. Like, he hasn't showed up. And we saw that, and we just assumed, like, it's all uphill from here. I feel like the last couple of years have been not downhill, but we're just on like a straight road, a little downhill. It hasn't been great.
Yeah, and I was gonna say too, like that is at least in my eyes, I'm like, I kind of get it, because if you're the Chiefs and you've been playing 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 games for 7 years in a row, eventually that wear and tear is going to get to you, right? Like, and we saw it with Brady and with Manning and with all these great quarterbacks, Roethlisberger, right? We saw that wear and tear really get to them because there was a pretty big lull in between the Patriots' first dynasty and their second dynasty. And even when Brady went with the Bucks, like that was the Brady Mahomes Super Bowl, right? That Brady took that dub from. And I think while athletes, in my opinion, are going to be one of the first ones to tell you, like, I want to play all the way to the Super Bowl every single year, they'll also be the first to tell you it's a long fucking season. We have months off, but even then, other teams, other quarterbacks have an extra month off or so, depending on playoffs or whatever, than we do. And that gives them more time to recuperate, to rest, to decide if they want to get surgeries, if they want to do rehab, things like that. So I totally agree that the last 2 seasons for the Chiefs, even though they've won a Super Bowl and have been to another one in those 2 seasons, it almost seems like they've been coasting, and it hasn't been anything like jaw-dropping or eye-opening. But I do think it does become a toll on these guys. And like the guys I mentioned, Chris Jones, Creed Humphrey, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, right? Like it becomes a toll on these guys' body. And I think if, like you said, like we're not really seeing the Mahomes who's getting out of the pocket and throwing left-handed and things like that, because he's like, it hurts, bro. Like I'm hurting right now. So I think for that point, that's what I'm going to say. And also with the turning of the tides for the Broncos, in my opinion, I think I've seen a lot of people give a lot of respect for the Broncos this offseason, going into this year. And the Chargers, the Chargers have been respected and kind of been like lauded as a really good team ever since Herbert came on the scene with the team. It's just been such a head coach thing. And now that Jim Harbaugh's there, it's kind of like, okay, do they finally have it, right? Like I finally think they have it. But the Broncos, they took a complete 180 after the Russ thing and after the whole fallout from, picking Bo Nix at 15 or whatever it was. And a lot of analysts, a lot of the media for the NFL is like, this defense is great. Bo Nix is a good quarterback. He had a good rookie year. And, again, you only hope that it goes up from there. I definitely feel like a lot of people are like, watch out for the Broncos because they can win the division this year.
Those same people, Rick, that say watch out for the Broncos, but I got the Chiefs at number 1.
Yeah, exactly. And
we're dipping our toes in the pool, but no one's willing to jump in, And
I don't know, but
quick, I got pregnant girlfriend. We're only a month and a half away from baby. Woo. I'm gonna go give her a kiss goodnight, because she's going to bed. It'll be 30 seconds.
All right, 30 seconds for me to talk shit while Kyle's gone. No, I'm just kidding. But guys, like the Broncos are definitely on the way up. And again, a lot of that has to do with the defense. But again, they're making moves that are going to make them better in the future. Again, picking up RJ Harvey in the draft, picking up Pat Bryant as a wide receiver in the draft, not necessarily leaving Courtland Sutton out to dry either, because Courtland Sutton too has been one of those guys over these past few years where a lot of people didn't really know who Courtland Sutton was. And, hand up for me as well. I didn't really know him until I started this podcast with Colin, was watching Broncos games with him. So I think Pat Bryant, Courtland Sutton, these guys, Troy Franklin, I think hopefully eventually that connection with Bo Nix should hopefully continue to grow. I think these moves are going to be awesome for them in the future. Courtland Sutton as their like veteran wide receiver 1, Pat Bryant and Mims and Troy Franklin as their younger guys, kind of wide receiver 2, 3s. And hopefully RJ Harvey kind of steps out into the scene as a running back. But like Kyle said, if Sean Payton sees a guy like Pat Bryant, like RJ Harvey, I mean, he did with Bo Nix last season. He saw him. He said, I like the way he plays and I can work with this. It's going to be there. And again, look at the ticker there at the bottom. We got our AFC West predictions. Kyle's got the Broncos winning the division, followed by the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Raiders. And I've got the Chiefs winning the division, followed by the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Raiders. In my opinion, the top three teams, the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Chiefs, are going to be within a game or two of each other. Like, I think Nick said it earlier. Kyle disappeared like Lamar's form in the playoffs. Facts. I think Nick had said it earlier in the chat. Like, I think the ceiling in terms of wins for this division as a whole is 12. And I think the floor is 8 or 7. I think Nick said 7, but for me, I think it's 8. I think the Raiders finish off 8-9. You got Pete Carroll, you got Geno Smith, you've got some weapons on offense that are going to make you better. Again, I think Jacoby Myers is a very underrated wide receiver 1. And I think Brock Bowers is going to continue to be good. Like, will he have somewhat of a fall off this year, second year? Probably. I mean, Laporta did, right? But he's still feared in terms of an offensive weapon for the Lions. So I think Brock Bowers, like, I don't think it's going to be anything crazy fall off, but I think it's going to be a bit of a quieter season for him, similar to Laporta last year with the Lions. Again, followed by the Chargers for me at 3. I don't know if their defense is necessarily going to be as good as dominant really as they were last year. Definitely think they take a step back, and that is with Khalil Mack taking a pretty big step back because they are aging on that defense. And I think they need to invest a little bit more on that in terms of the draft younger guys on that defensive front as well. And I mean, the offensive line, it sucks. But I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, especially when you got Joe Alt that can slide over to the left tackle position. Again, Broncos at 2, Chiefs at 1. Again, guys, with the Chiefs, until you beat them, they've been consistent. But I do think, like I was saying earlier, there is going to be somewhat of a tides turning situation in the next couple of years. But that's not to say that the Chiefs are going to be mediocre to bad over the next 2 to 3 seasons. And if I'm frozen, I apologize. Over the next 2-3 seasons, they're not going to be bad. I just, I don't think they're going to be winning the division as many years in a row as they were when they got Mahomes and they started this ridiculous, incredible run that the Chiefs have had. But I think there are going to be some years where they finish second. Third, I don't know about third. I think Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and that whole organization is too good to finish third in the division, but I can definitely see them taking a backseat as winners of the division and sliding into that second spot.
Thanks for holding it down. I said good night. All right. So here it is. Kyle, Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders. And Rick's going Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders.
And I'll make sure to put up a poll for the AFC West as well as the AFC and NFC North that I forgot to put up last week when we did this. But the polls will go up because we want to hear from you guys, who you guys think will win those divisions. And it's going to be exciting. But Kai, I think week 1 starting. So should we do our
top 5? No debating. Top 5.
Top 5.
Kyle?
Top 5. We are back, and nothing says we're back like top 5. I'm
Woo!
so it feels like our first stream of the year.
Yeah, I know you had said that before we started the stream, but I was like, it really does feel that way with our top 5.
Because it's real. It's like whatever you say, we're just days away from being right or wrong. It's not like in March when you have a take, it's like, well, we'll probably forget about that take by the time football starts. It's like, it matters.
Yeah.
You know, what you say, you
100%.
will remember.
100%. So top five. Our first of the 2025 season, and what an exciting thing to do. Really, when I was thinking about it, I was like, yes, top
I had the
five.
Jets at number 1 last year.
Oh shit, they don't have Aaron Rodgers, and you can't pick him at number 1 anymore.
I don't know how I can top that.
So with Kyle going first in the division standing predictions, I'm gonna go first in this week 1 edition of top five going into week 1. At number 5, Kyle's gonna be mad. I've got the Chiefs at number 5. Super Bowl losers. I've got them at 5. I can't put them anything higher. Would I want to put them a little bit lower? Maybe, but because of the consistency that they have had over the last several years, I think they deserve a spot at top 5. And to be in the Super Bowl, as we just mentioned, for 2 years in a row, of which that have not looked like the dominant Chiefs teams that we've seen with Mahomes and Andy Reid, I think at 5, being Super Bowl losers last season, I think it's appropriate. So I've got the Chiefs at number 5, Kyle.
At number 5, I have the Denver Broncos.
I knew it.
The Denver Broncos. Look, I just went on a 30-minute rant on why the Broncos are the best team in the AFC West. So just know that Bo Nix going into year 2, one thing we will find out really quick. We got week 1 against the Titans. We got week 2 against the Colts. Week 3, we're playing the, the Chargers. And no. There's one team after I think it's like the Raiders, Chargers, and Eagles. I want to pull this up really quick because I'm making a point here, even though it doesn't seem like it.
Week 2.
Yeah. Chargers,
Colts,
Bengals. That's it. So it's going to go Titans, Colts. Okay, let's say we win those 2. All right. Then we go to LA and we beat the Chargers, who you and I both had Denver over the Chargers. Now we got a 3-0 team. Now the Bengals come into Denver on Monday Night Football, and it's just like the game I went to. Let's say it's just like that, but we were in Cincinnati. This time we're in Denver. Let's say Denver wins in overtime, and all of a sudden you got a 4-0 team. By October 5th, Denver is in a situation where if they win that game, they would be the consensus number 1 team in the NFL. And that is how fast the top 5 can turn. I think a lot of people have Denver in their top 10. Not many people have them in their top 5. The way that Denver is going to come out and play the first couple of weeks will tell us a lot. My expectations is Denver beats the Titans by a lot. They're the biggest favorite week 1. Scary place to be, actually.
Yeah.
But they are the biggest favorite week 1. If Denver comes out, wins a game, let's say, 31-3, 31-6, all of a sudden, I think people would start moving Denver from, top 10 into the number 5 spot where I have them right now.
Yeah, and I think Denver right now, in a lot of power rankings I've seen, they are like top 14, top 13 teams. So again, like the Broncos are, yeah, exactly. So like they can enter that top 10 discussion after 2-3 weeks, like you're saying, maybe even after a dominant week 1, right, against the Titans, depending on how the rest of the team games shake up. But yeah, no, I agree. It's just it's a matter of time. I feel like with the Broncos, and if they can do what they need to do, win these 4 games or whatever it is, they can get there.
And Rick, before you tell me your number 4, I just wanted to tell you, ESPN, their top 5 is Ravens 1, Eagles 2, Lions 3, Buffalo Bills 4, Chiefs 5, Broncos 6.
Wow, that defense is fuck it. Defense and Bo Nix and Sean Payton. That's the holy triumvirate right now for you guys. It's
That is not, what I expected.
I agree.
The days of being like, no one believed. Here it is. 6. You got Denver Broncos, and then Chiefs, Buffalo, Detroit. I'm surprised Detroit retained that position, but Eagles and Baltimore. So just to give you some context, me and Rick are doing this now. I wanted you to know what ESPN's saying. So, you have that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's wrong. At number 4, at number 4 for my top 5, I've got Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
At number 4.
Not mad at it.
Yeah. Again, like they've been to the playoff. They've been consistent. Josh Allen just won MVP. They're a really, really good team, man. They've had some shitty luck in the playoffs. They've had some shitty luck in general as the Buffalo Bills, but I think Josh Allen is good, man. There's really not much else I can say other than maybe the defense is lacking a little bit. And yeah, Sean McDermott is head coach. It's still kind of like one of those, like, all right, what are we doing here? Like, I feel like they should be going out and getting one of these like head coaches, like an offensive mind for Josh Allen, and maybe try to get them to the actual Super Bowl next level type of thing. But they're just still a very consistent team. And that's why I got the Bills at number 4 going into week 1.
At number 4, I got the Washington Commanders.
Nice.
I thought you'd be more surprised.
Well, it's tough. It's tough with them, man. They killed it last year, and they still got Jaden Daniels. They killed it. They killed it.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jaden Daniels. What do you need to say? Like, the guy did something that nobody does. Period. I mean, the greatest quarterback ever, in my opinion, is Peyton Manning, and he went 3-13 his first season. Jaden Daniels went NFC Championship.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just it's insane. And yeah, now I'm gonna just believe, that is sophomore slump. I don't even like the term sophomore slump. It's like you're just predicting that players are going to be worse because there's more film on you. Which, how'd that work out for CJ Stroud last year? Well, his numbers did go down. Yeah, but did he win his division and go to the playoffs and win a playoff game? Okay, shut up. It's like, it doesn't matter what quarterback you're evaluating. But Mahomes had a bad, numbers wise. Was he in a sophomore slump last season? It's like,
of course he was.
It's like, you don't just like use his first season as a measuring stick, whether he had a slump or not. You look at the team success. And I see the Commanders as a team that got better. They bring in Deebo Samuel. They beef up the offensive line. They bring in Martian Lattimore. They have a lot of pieces. I actually like this like Luke McCaffrey guy. McCaffrey.
He was a returner for them last year, right? And a wide receiver.
Yeah, he didn't get as much playing time as expected as a rookie last year, but he only had 18 catches for 168 yards, which isn't much. But he comes from an NFL family with Christian McCaffrey, Ed McCaffrey, his father, Broncos legend. And he entered the league with an 86.8 playmaker rating, which ranked 8th in 2024.
Wow.
He has a similar style and usage as Deebo Samuel, which is a problem because the Commanders acquired Deebo Samuel, the actual Deebo Samuel.
Yep.
So if Samuel gets hurt, don't be surprised if McCaffrey succeeds in his replacement. But you took a team that was at an NFC Championship, and this is the difference between teams like the Chiefs, where I go, is there a shadow of a doubt that you can say confidently they got better? The Commanders got better. They're a better football team. There's only a couple teams that did that. My Broncos, the Commanders, the Bears, like they know shit got better. We don't need to wait to see. We know they're better. So I'm going to put them at number 4, considering they went to an NFC Championship last year.
I like it. At number 3, I have the Commanders at 3, and that's probably why my reaction was not
Okay.
something you
Yeah.
expected. And you've said it all. The additions they've made, paying Terry McLaurin and keeping that wide receiver one connection with Jaden Daniels. They're bringing back, oh my God, who's their tight end? I'm forgetting their tight end right now. Zach Ertz. Again, another player that is just going to help Jaden McDaniels continue. Jane Daniels, sorry, not McDaniels. Jane Daniels to continue to be a good quarterback and to have that same consistent flow. And then you bring in Debo, who can work out of the backfield if needed, and is still a very good wide receiver. And then we talk about what they did last year. Jaden Daniels was the best rookie quarterback in certain aspects. He looked cool and calm under pressure. It's the fourth quarter, and it's like, does this guy know he's in the fourth quarter of a football game? No, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like this guy's just like, this sucks. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Right.
how cool, calm, and collected that guy is. And then he makes it all the way to the NFC Championship. He beats teams like the Lions. He beats teams like the Tampa Bay Bucks, who have solid veterans, who have solid offenses, and the defenses were, nothing to really like joke about or scoff at. Like, he beat really good teams in the playoffs and who have consistently been in the playoffs. Made it all the way to the NFC Championship, ran into the Mack truck, which is the Philadelphia Eagles, who were the eventual Super Bowl champions. You can't take anything away from this team. That's why I've got them at number 3 going into this season, into week 1. They are just impressive, and it hurts me to say that because I really wanted this to be the Bears, but instead it's the Commanders at 3. Kyle, who you got at 3?
That's just because, you got the Bears at number 2, right?
God, I wish.
All right. At number 3, I got the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Hell of a pick.
Number 1, we got Matthew Stafford, leadership skills, dynamic player. He's always good for 4,500 passing yards, multiple touchdowns. You got the back injury. I'm a little concerned about it, but in making this ranking, I'm assuming he's good to go. So the elite coaching and Sean McVay, I mean, I think he's widely regarded at this point as like a top 3 coach in the NFL. He has a proven track record of maximizing talent and taking guys that you don't know, like, Kyron Williams. Now he finished, I think 2023, he was the 2nd ranked fantasy running back. This is like a 6th or 7th round draft pick. I mean, this is what the Rams do. They know how to evaluate talent. They sat down and let teams like the Colts pick Latu. And by the time the Rams were on the clock, they said, okay, we'll take Jared Verse. And Jared Verse, I think, could win Defensive Player of the Year. He is a problem. If you guys don't know this, there are every year, and I just went on this rant with Micah Parsons being traded. I said Jerry Jones finally did the right thing by letting Micah Parsons go, because I know when you have a Micah Parsons, it feels like we're never going to get this again. That's true for cornerback. That's true for quarterback. It's not really true for these players. I mean, you got Jared Verse. You go down the board, Aiden Hutchinson. You got the guy that was drafted out of Penn State this year, Abdul Carter. You got, TJ Watt. You can go down, and it's like, okay, so every year there's one like premier guy that's like going to lead the NFL in sacks that comes into the league. That's how it's been the last 5 years. And there will be another one. But last year, that guy was Jared Verse, and the Rams got him way later than he should have gone. If we did a redraft, Jared Verse would not have been available when the Rams selected him. So the fact that they got Jared Verse and Brendan Fisk, I mean, the addition of Devontae Adams on the offensive side of the ball next to Puka Nacua, I mean, I know a lot of people are like, I don't really know how to feel about Devontae Adams. Look, he went from Green Bay, where he had Aaron Rodgers, to the Raiders, where nobody does well. And then he went to the Jets, where nobody does well.
Yeah.
And he did all of that in 1 year or 2 years, maybe 3. Who cares? The point is now he's with a real team again. And
Yeah.
I'm not like ready to just say, oh, Devontae Adams, put him in the Stephon Diggs category of like,
Yeah.
it's
the
over.
OBJ category. Yeah.
Yeah, the OBJ. I'm not ready to do that yet because Devontae Adams takes really good care of his body. He
Mhm.
prepares really hard. He's a professional, and he still feels like he has a lot to prove, which is a must. Is that your receiver still feels like he has a lot to prove? So, like, I think Devontae Adams is going to have 1,000-yard season. I think he's going to go out and have a big year. And then you got Kyron Williams. Remember, they drafted Blake Corum last year, the
Yeah.
running back out of Michigan. So the Rams defense, I mentioned Jared Verse and Brendan Fisk, but they also have Byron Young and Kobe Turner. They ranked in the top 12 in scoring in defense in the second half of the season. And Verse, he's going to be this year's like what Aiden Hutchinson was 2 years ago.
Ooh.
Like he's so disruptive. He's so strong. He's one of the few guys that can just literally just sheer strength throw
Yeah.
you out of the way,
Yeah,
but
he's a
also have
monster.
the speed and the elusiveness and the bend. He's a generational type talent. And the Rams finished 2024 pretty strong. They won 6 of their final 8 games. And they nearly upset the Super Bowl champions in the playoffs, who were the Eagles.
Yeah.
So, I mean, their young roster found its footing really late last year. This year, kind of like Denver, we got it figured out, and we're going into the season with the right momentum. If Matthew Stafford's healthy, the Rams are a Super Bowl contender. I like the Rams here at 3.
Yeah, and you throw in Sean McVay as a head coach, and it's just almost like it's not fair. The NFC West teams are like, God damn it.
Yeah.
All right. At number 2 for myself, I think I've got at number 2 the team that Kyle does not have in his top 5. I've got the Ravens at number 2, my predicted AFC North champions for 2025. Lamar Jackson was MVP last season. He had like 41 passing touchdowns, all these rushing yards. He somehow gets lighter and faster and better. Like he wins his second MVP of his career. He's just an insane athlete. And then you got John Harbaugh as your head coach. You got Derrick Henry as your running back. You've got this defense that top to bottom has players. I think they're definitely going to have some competition in the North. But again, I've predicted.
Rick. Some competition.
I mean, there's going to be some competition, I think. But I think at the end of the day, the Ravens are winning the division. And to be honest, I think they're winning it pretty handedly. I don't think it's going to be close like the AFC West or even the NFC North in terms of like closeness. Yeah, I think the Ravens are going to win it again. Again, the roster top to bottom is awesome. But really the biggest questions, again, I think I went over this last week with the AFC North, is can the receivers be the receivers? Like, can they be number ones? Can Zay Flowers be number one? And if not, can Rashad Bateman be the number one, right? Like they've got Mark Andrews, they've got Isaiah Likely there as well. And they've got some other players. You mentioned Derrick Henry. But like as many passing touchdowns as Lamar was having, it just never seemed like Zay Flowers is a monster. Rashad Bateman is a monster. It always just seemed to be like Derrick Henry is a monster. Lamar Jackson is a monster. Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews are like beasts, right? It's never really the wide receiver room. And I may be wrong, but it just, to me, it never felt that way. It never felt like, oh my God, Justin Jefferson. Oh my God, Jamar Chase. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. It just never felt like that for the wide receiver room for the Ravens. But I've still got them winning because of Lamar Jackson, and the rest of their roster is just so damn talented. And that's why I've got them in number 2 in my top 5.
Yeah. And it's like when you're doing these top 5, do you say like, these are my top 5 teams in the regular season, or are you like, if you could go to the Super Bowl, these are the top 5 teams I think would be in it? Because I think the Ravens are like the safest top 5 team, but it's getting to a point where they haven't been able to win in the postseason. So it's like, okay, well, what kind of top 5 is this? Is it about the Super Bowl, or is it about, who's going to win 12 games? Because we could easily throw the Ravens in our top 5 and it won't look stupid in January. But, if we're really trying to hit it out of the park and land a Super Bowl team, are the Ravens going to go to the Super Bowl? They could do it this year. I mean, they added, the Packers cornerback. I'm blanking on it. Yeah, they add Alexander. They add DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah,
Derrick Henry looks better. Like, did you see him working out this up? Like,
he's just a monster. It's not even fair.
He just gets better. And like, I'm getting to a point where it's like, when they added, sorry, one more time, what was the Packers cornerback name?
Jair Alexander.
I can never say his first name. Was it Jair?
Jair Alexander, yeah.
Jair Alexander. When they added him, I said, if they don't win like the Super Bowl this year, I'm just done with them. Like, I'm like,
you're always done with them though.
But it's like, why not? Like, why the Chiefs last year got smoked?
Yeah,
they got smoked in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I mean, and the Chiefs beat Buffalo, and the Ravens like struggled so much against Buffalo. I think Buffalo and the Ravens was the real AFC Championship. I think both of those teams would have played a better game against the Eagles.
Oh yeah,
which is like, it's like, okay, but they lost, so shut up.
Yeah, we can't play what ifs, right? Yeah,
right. But I don't know how much longer the Ravens can continue to build these type of teams and get bounced out of the divisional round. It's like
they're just the much better version, in my eyes, of the Chargers, where it's like, not only do the Ravens have regular season success, but they've actually got some wins in the postseason, and you can't say that about the Chargers. Like, the Chargers have regular season success, and then they just fuck it away in the wild card round, and then you're like scratching your head, and you're like, what happened? But at least Lamar, because for the longest time, I totally am right there with you. For the longest time, it was like, okay, can they win a playoff game, or are they just going to be really good in the regular season and then just always be that team that underperforms in the playoffs? Again, kind of like the Chargers, but they've won I think 4 games in the playoffs the last 2 seasons, something like that, 2-3, whatever it may be. So they've at least shown that they can win in the postseason and do it, at a pretty good level. And it's no longer a oh my God, why aren't they running the ball in the second half? Oh my God, can Lamar Jackson's wide receivers get open at all? Because they're clearly not going to win this game, right? Like, it's no longer that. I feel like everybody's kind of stepped up. And I think for the top 5 right now, it's just, who do I think are the 5 best teams going into week 1? And Super Bowl is like completely different. Like, I don't know if I have the Chiefs at number 5. You know what I mean? Like, if we're talking Super Bowl, I don't know. But I get what you're saying.
Well, I'm going to continue to make my top 5 about the teams that have the best shot of going to the Super Bowl. And I'm going to capitalize this on my number 2 pick by going with the Green Bay Packers. The Green
Packers.
Bay.
Trash.
The Green Bay Packers. I knew you would hate this one, but
oh yeah,
I mean, look, the Micah Parsons thing is just ridiculous. Like, can we just?
That's ridiculous.
It's a problem if you're in the NFC North. Which, by the way, I was doing a mock draft stream on Friday, and there was a guy that subbed, and he's a big Bears fan, and I was like, oh, dude, like, that's going to be great because Rick needs you,
Yeah, I'm going to need all the Bears fans I can get this year.
I mean, it's going to be a really competitive division, but I think I'm seeing something that a lot of people aren't, because what we saw when Jordan Love took over for Aaron Rodgers, it was a learning curve where I think they were 3-4 by week 7. They even lost to the Broncos, who got blown out 70 points, to the Dolphins.
Mhm.
And then the following week, Denver was able to beat the Packers. It was shortly after, and it was like that's kind of where the Packers were at that point, where LaFleur and Love were trying to get their footing, and then all of a sudden it was like they got it and they were winning, and they made it somehow into the postseason, and then they went to Dallas and dropped 40 on the Cowboys, who were supposed to be like Super Bowl. They were having
it
a
was that year.
great season.
Yeah.
And Jordan Love a star was born. It was like you got, Favre to Rodgers and then a question mark, and then the question mark was removed. And then Jordan Love went to San Francisco, had a chance at the very end of the game, threw a bad pick, but like this is his first time in the postseason, and he's in his second game. It was immediately like, okay, this is going to be the guy in Green Bay. He signs the $200 million contract, and then week 1 they open up with playing what we know now was the Super Bowl winning champions Philadelphia Eagles. Breaks his knee in a 1 possession loss, or not breaks his knee, but it was ugly. I mean, go watch that.
It was a bad injury. Yeah, it was bad.
Like I saw that and I was like, I don't care. I don't need to wait. And I was like, he's done. And the fact that he wasn't done, I was always scratching my head about it. Because I'm like, how? He couldn't even walk off the plane when they arrived back in Green Bay. Like, how is he playing 4 weeks later? Well, he really was playing hurt, and that's what the season looked like. The Packers, though, they weren't a 6-win team despite this. They were 11-12 win team, which is like, we're looking back on Green Bay and I think we're remembering it differently. Like, yeah, they had a down year offensively, but there is a lot to look at that improved. I mean, they had their best defensive season since 2010 when they won the Super Bowl under their first year defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley. He comes over and all of a sudden Green Bay's defense is, I mean, it's been 15 years since they've been as good as they were last year. And you look at this dynamic young offense. I mean, the Packers have I think they're the youngest team in the NFL. They got Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, Ditavion Wicks. They're all under 26. Luke Musgrave, their tight end. And then they brought in Josh Jacobs last year, which was a huge addition because he had a great year. Scored a lot of touchdowns for them. LaFleur was able to get a little more creative with his play calling because people had to respect the running game. And they were projected to rank top 5 in scoring. Their depth, I think, mitigates a lot of injury risk because it's like, okay, they lose Datavion Wisk. Romeo Doubs is, it's like they can play musical chairs with these guys. And it was like last year when they said, who's your number 1? And Love said, it'll be someone different every week. Now they drafted a real number 1 in the wide receiver, Matthew Golden. And he's like, what's that? What'd you say?
No, Golden. Yeah.
Oh, Golden. So now he kind of comes in as the number 1. No, when you draft a wide receiver in the first round, everyone knows that he's the number 1. And Jeff Hafley kind of goes into year 2 with these players. The key players were Rashawn Gary, Quay Walker, and then Xavier McKinney, who came from the Giants, had a massive year, and then they just added Micah freaking Parsons. This team is collectively reminding me of the Eagles last year, where they had a down year the year before and everybody was out on the Eagles, and then they quietly built a Super Bowl roster and nobody really saw it. Like the Eagles were, oh yeah, they're going to be good. That's what we're doing with Green Bay right now. Like if you look at the power rankings of the Eagles last year, it's where the Packers are this year. It's that same zone, but the Packers are, I think, one of the most complete teams this year going into year 2 under Jeff Hafley and LaFleur's offense. If Jordan Love can go out and have a healthy season, he will be, I mean, even the first year he took over, he still threw for over 4,000 passing yards. I think 30 something touchdowns to 11 picks, 33-11, I think it was.
Yeah.
And now he's going to go out here, hopefully healthy with a better defense. I think the Packers, if they're not thinking Super Bowl, they're wrong, because the Packers in the NFC, I think there's only one team better.
I think we both have that one team at number one. First of all, the Micah Parsons thing, I was at work when that happened. I literally stopped functioning when I saw that.
You're like, I would
news.
too. If he was a Chief, I would have lost it.
Yeah, I was. So I got to work. I'm prepping for that, service that night. And it was like 2:30, 3-ish, whatever it was, my time, West Coast time. And I get the notification. Micah Parsons has been traded to the Green Bay Packers for 2 first-round picks and defensive tackle Kenny Clark. And I was like, no! I was like, no! Caleb Williams is going to see this guy twice a year for the next 5 years. I was like, I could not believe it. Like, I literally was pacing in the kitchen for like 5 minutes, not doing any work, because I could not move forward with that information throughout my day. And let's just say it was probably one of the worst days. This is like so reminiscent of when the Bears got Khalil Mack a few years ago. And of course I'm going to take copium, right? Like I'm going to cope hard as fuck and be like, he can't stuff the run, whatever. He's bad. But I just wanted to say that was my immediate reaction to the Micah Parsons news.
I wanted to know. I'm glad you told us, because we all want to know.
It's been a bad weekend. Knowing that Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer, and
Rick,
it's just rough.
You know what's crazy about the Micah Parsons thing?
What's that?
When we finished our stream on Monday, and it was just you and me, we were off air, and I told you to check out that article that I wrote about Micah Parsons. Mm-hmm. Well, Stephen A. Smith sat down with Micah Parsons and did an interview, and it turned out Jerry Jones told Stephen A. Smith, I'm not worried about losing Micah. I have him for 3 more years. He said, I have him this year on his rookie contract, and then I can tag him next year, and I can tag him the year after that. So he said, at a minimum, I have him for 3 more years. And then he said, I called Michael Irvin and said, hey, can you talk to Micah? Because, you and I battled with contracts, but we're still friends. And he said, yeah, I can do that. And he said, but Michael, when you get here, and before you talk to Micah, I need you to pick up the contract that I offered him and look at it. And he said, okay. And he said, because what I offered him, he would be making 60% less money if I did, the tag year after year. Mm-hmm. And I said, holy shit, he just told us what he offered Micah. And nobody, ESPN, NBC, ABC, Fox, nothing. Nobody took that literal. And I did, because if he would have said 50, I would have been like, well, maybe he just threw a number out. Yeah. He said 60. That's a very precise number. So I looked up the annual amount for the tag next year and the year after, with this year's final year in his rookie contract. Mm-hmm. And then I found out, okay, what that 40% remains. And I did the math, and I said, holy crap, he was offered $47 million a year. Mm-hmm. And I wrote an article about it. And I said, is Jerry Jones actually, we're giving him shit, but I bet the public opinion would be way different if they all knew Micah had a $47 million contract offered. The only thing he was saying no to was the guaranteed. He wanted more money guaranteed. Yeah. But the annual amount was $47 million. And then the Packers pick him up. And guess what? $47 million a year was his annual salary,
but probably more guarantees though.
Well, he had more,
but probably, yeah.
But the Packers matched, because the Packers obviously called the Cowboys, said, "What did you offer him?" We offered him this, and what's the problem? He wants more guaranteed. So the Packers matched the Cowboys' offer and then gave him the guarantees he wanted. Mm-hmm. But yours truly, from the Only Football Podcast, we were the only fucking NFL station that talks ball in the country to report a week before Micah Parsons signed his contract that it was going to be $47 million a year.
There you go. Kyle
which
had it.
the second place is 41 million. So if we would have said 42, it would have been obvious. But 47, we hit it out of the park. I want you guys to know that.
Yeah. And first of all, great job, Kyle, because I saw the video you had posted, not the stream, but the video you had posted about like the Jerry Jones thing too.
Yeah.
So great job there. What puzzles me and kind of what KC said here, NFC rival, not only an NFC rival,
right,
but a team that is consistently beating you in the playoffs. You trade your blue chip defensive player to Jerry Jones is a moron. Like, I understand where you're coming from, and Micah Parsons, like, good for him. He got his guarantees.
He traded him to the wrong team. It was a good trade, wrong team.
I think it is the wrong team, and not only as a viewer of playoff football and being like, you know who's kicked their ass pretty consistently, Cowboys? The fucking Pack.
Yeah.
Guess who you're probably going to see a majority of the time in the playoffs, if you even get there in the next 5 years? The Packers, you idiot. So you're going to not only be haunted by not signing him to stay on the Cowboys, but he's going to wreck you, and he's going to wreck Dak if they meet again in the playoffs, which I'm sure they will, because it's only bound to happen by the NFL gods. So I just, again,
that's
like,
true.
Yeah, like, not only did you not sign him to keep him a Cowboy, you put him on it. You traded him to a team that consistently beats your ass in the playoffs, which is very funny to me.
And I think the trade in itself on its face is a good move for the Cowboys, because they're going to have 4 selections in the first round in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, there's one of these premier guys every year. It's just that they're coming out of college. There's one. I'm not saying he's going to be Micah Parsons, but I'm saying him, whoever that premier guy is, with another guy and another guy and another guy, like, all together. I mean, you look at the top 10 trades of, biggest hauls. You got guys like Eric Dickerson, the Russell Wilson. I actually have a thread on my X if you want to see the top 10 biggest trades of all time. Yeah. I would tell you that 80% of them didn't work out for the team that gave a bunch of picks. I'm not saying Micah won't work. I think he will work. I think this is the thing the media hates the most, is when the trade was a win-win. It's like, who lost the trade? Sometimes it's like the Stafford Lions trade, where it's like, I don't know if anyone lost it. I mean, yeah, the Rams got a Super Bowl, but look at the Detroit Lions got Jahmyr Gibbs and Sam Laporta and Jared Goff. And
I'll tell you who lost the trade: the entire NFC North, who isn't the Packers. That's who lost the fucking trade.
But I think, like, for Green Bay, they were in a position where they had so much youth that they were like, yeah, we can afford to pay Micah. He could be the piece that takes us to the Super Bowl. The Cowboys, they didn't have all the youth. And if it's like you pay Micah and you're basically running last year's script again, saying, well, maybe Micah's so good that he can just get us to a Super Bowl. You tried it. It doesn't work. You need more. So why not let him walk, get all the assets, save the money, and build a team? And that's what the Cowboys are doing. But yeah, I agree with you. The Packers were the wrong destination. If I'm Jerry Jones, I would have wanted to give him to an AFC team. And but it's possible the Packers were the only team willing to give that kind of, money to him, or that many picks for him.
Yeah, totally agree there. And oh God, I don't know, man. Regardless, like, I don't want to get into
Caleb
it.
Williams probably saw it and was like, all right.
Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, fucking Braxton Jones, and our entire offensive line saw that and we're like, fuck.
Why would I don't understand, though. It's like the Bears are normally the team that does this type of a trade.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's going on? I feel like the Packers are in this weird, like, when your parents are like growing up, it's like,
Yep.
they're really strict, and then you go visit them later and they're like eating like CBD gummies. And
Yeah,
you're
they're
like,
just having a
it's like
blast.
the Packers are in this weird phase where they're like, we're going to draft a wide receiver in the first round. We're going to get Micah Parsons. It's like, wait a minute. What?
Yeah.
You guys don't do that.
I think it was a very smart move by the Packers because he's 26 years old. Everyone else on the Packers is like 26, 27 or younger. Like, this makes so much sense for any team who is, obviously buying into their own team winning a Super Bowl, which I'm sure the Packers are doing. And a lot of NFL media is doing as well. Well, why not bring in a premier pass rusher to not only be the premier pass rusher, but to improve our already improved defense from last season with Hafley. Like, Hafley's going to have a field day with Micah Parsons as an edge rusher. Like, it makes sense for the Packers. I hate it. I hate it so much, but
I totally get that. And like, everyone's been saying, oh, well, especially Cowboys fans, like, that's what you get. Now you get to enjoy Green Bay's cold weather. And it's like, it's like, or, Micah's got this podcast thing going on. And I'm like, he's one of the best athletes in the world. So it's like, how much free time do you think this guy has to go out to like the clubs? You know what I mean? Like, once the season's over, he's going to he has his condos in, LA, Miami, Chicago. I don't know, but not Green Bay. Like, he's not, it's like, he's only there during the season, and people think it's like a punishment. Cause back in the late 80s, teams used to send players to Green Bay as a punishment. And it's like, that's not the way it is right now.
Yes, it is. It still is. I don't give a fuck.
I want my players to not have the Miami clubs like that, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Green Bay. I want to be in the most boring cities possible so my players stay focused.
Even Jacksonville's got a little bit, but no. I totally get it. All right. Back to the top 5.
Who do you got, Rick, at number? Wait, it's my turn.
No, it's my turn. I was actually going to say, do you want to do our number 1 at the same time? Because I'm positive we have the same number 1.
You think?
Yeah. So let's do it.
3, 2,
1.
1. Buccaneers.
Eagles.
The Tampa Bay. No, I'm kidding. I got the Eagles.
The Tampa Baker Buccaneers. The Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl reigning champions. Saquon Barkley.
It's not close.
Yeah, it's not. It's really not close. This is and I feel like the subtractions from this team, from a Super Bowl winning team, are always like the biggest thing to happen to them as soon as they win the Super Bowl, right? It's like every team who wins the Super Bowl, oh, who's leaving? Okay, because of this subtraction, this guy's leaving, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, right? Like, the Eagles are still so damn good because they got a lot of their core players. And on top of that, a lot of their younger guys, rookies from last season. Remember Cooper DeJean had an interception, pick 6 in the Super Bowl? He's still there. Their other cornerback is still there. Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, their tackle, I'm forgetting his name right now.
It don't matter. They're
defensive tackle. Like, it doesn't matter. This team is
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter. Yes. Thank you. Like, this team as a whole
Nolan Smith too.
And Nolan Smith. Like, they've got guys. And yes, you saw, I believe, Darius Slay, Mekhi Becton, a couple of these guys leave. Obviously, Jason Kelce from a couple seasons ago left, and the center is still very good. And even though he was hurt, like, he still played. They've got a complete team, in my opinion, the most complete team in the NFL, on top of everybody else. So that's why I've got them at number 1. And that's why we got the ticker down there too, guys. Check it out.
I think the only team that actually matches up is my Broncos. I mean, like, I look at the Packers and it's like a lot of youth, but there's like, I don't know if this is going to work out, or the secondary for the Rams, haven't named a cornerback. The Eagles, like, There's no questions about it, you know. And
Mhm.
the Vic Fangio arrival, and I love this whole story with Miami when he leaves Miami and he's like, I couldn't get the players to focus because
To buy
that's
in.
what we were just talking about with Micah Parsons being in Green Bay. It's like the Vic Fangio is so about it that he's like, I don't want to coach play. That's why some people can't do the NFL. Like you have college coaches that are like, I can't do the NFL because some of them, they get their money bag and they're just not invested anymore. And it's like,
Yeah,
I like hungry athletes that are just hungry. And
they need
like
to
Vic
buy in. Yeah.
Fangio, he literally is like allergic to anti-hungry athletes. You know, he's like, if I don't have dogs on the defense, I'm
Yeah.
leaving.
I
You
don't
know,
give a fuck.
and he used to practice so hard where it's like they would be in full pads and they were like, this is stupid. Why are we running like hills sprints, you know, 3 days before a game? And there is a balance there. And Vic Fangio, that's why he wasn't a great head coach, but he's
Yeah.
a great defensive coordinator. And
Mhm.
since he's arrived as a coordinator, the Eagles were top 5 scoring defense. They allowed 18.9 points per game. You know, Jalen Carter had 8 sacks. Quinion Mitchell had 3 picks. He was the best corner in last year's draft. Number 2 was Cooper DeJean. The Eagles said, let's get them both.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
get them both. Veterans. They got is Darius Slay still with the team?
No, he's not. No longer.
He's gone, right?
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it though, because
Exactly.
when you know what we just talked about. Nick Sirianni, there's been question marks about, you know, his ability to lead. I feel like we should just stop doing that because
Yeah.
regardless of how it's being done or it's Howie Roseman, you know, whoever, the head coach still plays a pivotal role in the team, and he's been the head coach that has led a team to 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years.
Mhm.
You know, he's got a 34-17 record since 2021. He has been, I think he could have beaten the Chiefs, you know, but that pass interference call question, I don't like that call in the Super Bowl that ultimately ended the game. But I felt like if the Eagles got the ball back, they were going to win because they scored on every possession.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like, you know, what the Chiefs did last year, Sirianni's team did. They were always ready for the Super Bowl. He's got good synergy with the offensive coordinator. Now, Kellen Moore's gone. And this is the, if I had to find a blemish, it would be this, because Kellen Moore being gone, I think is more, it's more important than people are giving, you know, the credit for, because like I said that Kellen Moore, before he was a head coach for the Saints, I said that I think he's one of the more underrated coordinators in the NFL, because with the Cowboys, they were scoring 40 points a game, it seemed like. And then he went to the Chargers. And unfortunately for the Chargers, they lost Herbert for the season. And then they had to start that other quarterback. I'm forgetting his name.
So many like non-known people there.
Yeah, it's like if I said his name, you would remember him. It's killing me. It's white guy. Easton Stick. Thank you.
That's who it was.
And then because they didn't have a ton of success with Easton Stick, you know, that whole regime gets fired. In comes Harbaugh, and Sirianni takes Kellen Moore. And then Kellen Moore takes the Eagles, who were just like, they lost their coordinators 2 years ago. They replaced them. They did a bad job, so they fired him and brought in Kellen Moore. And then he was like, okay, we're going to run the football. I felt like the offense was exactly what it needed to be last year. It wasn't splashy. They didn't take a ton of risks. But Kellen Moore found out what the team was great at, and he leaned into the strengths. And I don't know if this next coordinator is going to be able to do that. We're going to find out. But Howie Roseman, you know, what's there to say? Like nobody builds a team like Howie Roseman. I mean, the 2025 schedule is going to be tougher. You got the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Packers, the Broncos. There's the Super Bowl hangover. You know, every year a team wins a Super Bowl, and the next year it's like they're the best in the league, and rightly so. But how often is that the story by the end of the year?
Exactly.
So the Chiefs, the Eagles, though, their roster is so complete that it just would be unfair to remove them at this point. But it is going to be harder because like my number 4 pick with the Commanders, they're in a tough division, and it's hard to be the hunted. Last year, I feel like they kind of coasted through. Even when they were 10-1, people didn't have them in their top 5. It was like, why aren't the Eagles being? Because I remember our first top 5 where I threw the Eagles in, and you were like, okay, I like it.
Yeah.
You weren't against it, but it was like the first time we considered the Eagles a top 5 team.
A top team, yeah.
And they were, but it just took a while for us to, I guess, really appreciate what we were seeing every week. So I think the NFC it's going to be tough. Rarely does a team repeat, but if a team were to repeat, it would be a team that's built like the Eagles are this year. So I got
100%.
and by the way, I would hate to end this segment without saying they have a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And I'm really tired of the whole Jalen Hurts he's this, he's that. He's an amazing quarterback. He's the greatest leader maybe in the NFL. Very rare for you to land somebody as good as Jalen Hurts. Like he is exactly what you want a franchise quarterback to be. He doesn't skip a day. He doesn't underestimate an opponent. He doesn't get too high, and he knows how to move on. He didn't even put his Super Bowl ring on when they did the ring ceremony because he said that was last year. I mean, this is like everything this guy does. If you love football as much as I do, it puts some like gasoline in you. You're like, oh God, I love that guy. I didn't know I could love him more. But
Kyle loves men who put gasoline in them. You heard it.
Yeah, I just can't get enough of this guy, and I don't know why he can. I mean, he wasn't in the NFL's top 10 quarterbacks this year.
Yeah,
I don't get it, but yeah, that guy is just going to continue to lead his team to the big game, and people will keep downplaying it. I don't know why.
Love it. Love it. Well, guys, that was the week 1, 2025 NFL season version of
Top 5, no debating. Top 5, top 5, top 5.
And of course, Jalen Hurts right there, Super Bowl winner on your top 5. All right.
Did you, in 3 sentences, what is your take on the Jalen Hurts being like not a top 5 quarterback? Is he a top 5 quarterback to you going into this season?
I think he's definitely top 10. I think he has potential of top 5. I think he's right outside of it.
So like top 7?
Yeah, maybe top 7. I don't think anybody should have him. I don't think anybody should have him outside the top 10. Like outside the top 10 is crazy work. And we saw that a lot this offseason, and I think that's ridiculous. I really do think.
What would change your mind? Like, is it 4,000 yards passing, or is there something specific?
It's just tough for me because Lamar MVP or has MVPs. Josh Allen was an MVP.
No Super Bowls.
Yeah, exactly. And I get the Super Bowl argument. I'm just kind of like going into this season. It's like Joe Burrow had a fucking ridiculous year last year.
No, I get it.
Yeah, and Jaden Daniels, awesome year too.
You would put Jaden Daniels above Jalen Hurts? I
think after last season, like the wow factor with Jaden Daniels, I just there's a lot of hope. I think I think going into this year, don't get me wrong, Jaden Daniels has done awesome. Like he did great things, but at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl. I'm not taking that away from him one bit. I don't know, man. In a league that is driven by the QBs, I think Jalen Hurts is easy top 7.
Okay. If he goes to the Super Bowl this year, like would he move up to top 5?
But to have him out, I think it's talked about his down year the season prior. He went to Super Bowl the year prior to that, and then it was like, okay, who is Jalen Hurts when they went to the playoffs his like first year as a starter. I don't know. I think it's just a consistency thing for me, and plus the wow factor from Jaden Daniels last year. I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts isn't a good quarterback, isn't a great leader like you were saying. I just don't know if he's top 5 yet.
Okay. I respect it. I respect it. And I really don't think the NFL's ever had this many great quarterbacks.
It's ridiculous how many good quarterbacks are here.
So I think we're going to do
Am I
missing anything?
We were gonna do week 1 predictions.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. We'll do it real quick.
I was down, but I was like, God, I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I have to. The season's starting.
I was on the verge of being like, should we do it? Should we not do it? But we should do it. And we're going to get through this pretty quickly. But Thursday night football, the season begins. And who better to start it than the Micah Parsons Dallas Cowboys going into the reigning champion Philadelphia Eagles. We talked about them, both these teams really, and what they bring to the table. I went first on the top 5. So Kyle, I'm going to let you go first for the week 1 predictions, starting with Thursday night football.
You're making me go first? All right.
Great use of that.
All right. Okay. So first off, I got the Eagles winning this game. They are the Super Bowl defending champions. They're at home. There's going to be a ring ceremony. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be a Philly win. But the 7.5 points that the Eagles are being favored by, I don't love it. I think this game's going to be close for no reason. Look, you got a divisional game, which is always going to be all right, that's a battle. Dak Prescott, he's healthy. CeeDee Lamb, you bring in the number 2 wide receiver for Pittsburgh last year, George Pickens, right?
George Pickens, yeah.
And there's a little bit of an unknown of what would CeeDee Lamb be like with a real number 2, because we bring in Brandon Cooks. That's not a real number 2. Let's be real.
No.
But Pickens is. And I think with Dak Prescott, I think that they might be a little bit better than people are expecting, just because Dak has shown us that he knows how to ball. The playoffs is a whole nother conversation, but just a regular season game, a divisional game on primetime, I'm thinking the Eagles win in a 27-24 type of game.
Oh, okay. I like that. I'm going to go Eagles as well at home, ring ceremony, defending champs. But I think they're winning it pretty convincingly. I'm going to go 24-14. I'm going to go 10-point win. So I do like the 7-point spread, 7.5 point spread or whatever it was. But yeah, I like Philly week 1 to open the season, win against a division rival Cowboys. And a big one, 24-14.
All right.
And not only Thursday night football, but we have Friday night football in where is
Brazil.
it? Brazil.
And Tom Grassi is going to be be
Yes, he's going to be. Well, he's going to be. He's going to be getting footage from the NFL to actually call the play-by-play, which is ridiculous for a YouTube streamer to do that. But there's going to be 3 other guys. But honestly, Grassi getting this, there's no one better to do it. So Friday night football in Brazil. Kansas City is technically the away, going to LA, the Chargers. Kyle, this one's difficult for me. But since both of these teams are going to be playing in an away stadium, really at the end of the day, I think the Chargers are actually going to take this win from the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it's going to be a very, very close game. I think it's going to be 21-17 Chargers win. I don't think that's good. I think it's going to be a rusty kind of start for the Chiefs. That's why they only score 17. I'm going 21-17 Chargers win it.
Wow. Okay. I didn't expect you to join me in this. I'm going to go with the Chargers as well. And I'm going to take the Chargers in a close game, just like you are. But the only difference is I'm going to take the Chargers to win the game. I'm going to go 21-20.
Oh, I like that. I
Yeah,
was going to go 21-20, but I was like, I think more than a field goal.
And that's the thing. They're 3-point favorites, the Chiefs. So I took the Chargers +3 because I think, hey, even if the Chiefs win, I don't think it's by more than 3. Now it's going to be a really interesting game because we're going to see the Chiefs for the first time since being humiliated. And that is going to
kind of love saying that.
that they were humiliated.
Yeah.
No, I'm just being real. Like they got embarrassed on the national stage, and everybody has been from the Chiefs saying like, yeah, we've been itching to get back out on the field. So I expect like the Chiefs I don't expect them to be rusty. There's not many coaches as good as Andy Reid in September. And that's why it's hard for me to pick against him, because he's got all offseason to dial up plays in his office. And I'm sure there's going to be a couple big plays. One of them's going to go to Xavier Worthy. It'll be a 70-yard touchdown. And that's why I have them losing 21-20. They're going to put points up, but the Chargers, I think they're going to be able to get, I think it'll be 20-13. The Chargers will have 1 touchdown and 2 field goals. And then with 5 minutes left, the Chargers are going to drive down, score a touchdown, make the extra point, and go up 21-20. And the defense of the Chargers is going to make a critical 4th and 4 stop. And then it's going to be a knee from there, and the Chargers did it.
Love it. Casey said, boo. Makes sense.
I get it. I would do it. I would do it.
Moving on to Sunday football. We have got the Cardinals going to New Orleans, taking on the Saints. This is such a weird game for me because the Saints have Spencer Rattler as their starter. They've got weapons on the offense. Their defense is clearly aging and nowhere near as dominant as they were 4 years ago or whatever it was. But Arizona also, like, they've added players on the defense. Their offense is somewhat the same. James Conner, Trey McBride there on the offensive side. And of course, Marvin Harrison Jr. being thrown to from Kyler Murray. Honestly, I don't know. New Orleans is probably going to be the worst team in the league this year. And I think they start off the 2025 season. Unfortunately for Kellen Moore, is his head coaching debut is going to be a loss to the Arizona Cardinals. And I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to win this one pretty easily. I honestly, Spencer Rattler is probably going to be replaced in like the 4th quarter because of how bad he's going to play.
I'm going to be like, why didn't you draft Shedeur Sanders?
Yeah, exactly. At least we had to hope. I'm going Arizona 24, New Orleans 13.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm actually going with a big dub for the Saints here.
Ooh.
The Saints are going to not only win this game, but remember, this game is in the Superdome.
Mm-hmm.
You're going against the Saints in the Superdome on a home opener, brother. Look, I don't know if they're gonna go above 500. I don't know if they're gonna go 1-15, but I don't see them losing their home opener. It is like one of those things where there's something magical about certain stadiums. And week 1, it's a noon game, which kind of dials down. If it would have been prime time, maybe a little crazier. But
yeah,
I just went on a whole rant about how I feel like Kellen Moore is not really getting the credit he deserves. And I did a crazy analytical thing where I took the yards allowed per game, rushing yards allowed per game for all 32 teams. And I went to the Saints schedule, and for every opponent, I plugged in the number and I added all 17. And I did that for all 32 teams. And what I found was not only in that category, but in like contact. So how fast the rusher is getting contact, basically to figure out like how much success will each team have running the football this year. And what I found is based on the opponents, nobody is going to have an easier path to be successful running the football than the Saints. They are number one in almost every category, meaning they're playing the weakest running defenses of any team in the NFL.
Okay.
Alvin Kamara is 30 years old, and I know he hadn't had a good season last year, but I'm keeping my eye on Alvin Kamara for a big bounce back season under Kamara.
Ooh, I like that.
That's what's going to have to happen because I'm with you on the Spencer Rattler thing. I don't believe in it.
That's not going to work.
It's not going to work, but Alvin Kamara in the magic of the Superdome wins this game in a 17-24 victory.
Oh, I like it. I like it. We're both in the teens and the 20s on this one. Spencer Rattler gone out of the NFL.
You like my Alvin Kamara surprise season?
I like it. I mean, he was decent last year. There was like a stretch of a few weeks there where I remember having him on my fantasy squad, and I was like,
"Oh yeah,
this is awesome." So, but towards the end, it was not Alvin Kamara of the middle of the season. So hopefully, like at 30, like you're saying, like he has somewhat of a just a small resurgence in a sense. But I could buy that. I could buy that in terms of like the defenses not being as good either. So
I could buy that for $1.
I could buy that for 50 cents. Yeah, for sure. All right. Moving on to the beginning of the Carolina Panthers Super Bowl run, week 1 against going into Jacksonville, taking on the Jaguars, taking on Trevor Lawrence, Travis Hunter, Tank Bigsby, Brian Thomas Jr., Mike, what's his name? Josh Allen Hines on the defensive side for the Jaguars. It's going to be Bryce Young trying to get his team to make that next leap. He had a really decent year with Canales as head coach last season after being benched early in the year for Andy Dalton. He had a decent season after that. And they're hoping to kind of get better, right? They're hoping to get better. Obviously, they get rid of their Burns from the defense. The defense kind of takes a big hit there. But again, it's all about the quarterback and how can we make him better. Canales had tapped into something, brought in Andy Dalton and was like, learn from this guy. You're going to get better. And he did. He showed it. Now with Jacksonville, they got plenty of offensive weapons, especially after Brian Thomas Jr. had one of the better rookie wide receiver seasons last year. And you're hoping that with the head coach, I'm forgetting his name right now, brand new head coach from the Bucks offense coordinator last year, Liam Cohen.
How did you forget Liam Cohen?
Duval, you're right. How could I forget Duval? They're hoping Trevor Lawrence gets unlocked this year and has a similar season to what he did 2 years ago when he was an MVP candidate. I think this is a difficult one for me because I want to take Carolina because I really do think that Canales and Bryce Young are going to take on that next leap. And I think Xavier Legette is going to be a very good weapon, wide receiver wise for the Panthers. But I got to take the Jacksonville Jaguars here. First year head coach in Liam Cohen. We saw what he did with Baker last year. Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. already have an awesome connection that they established last year to make him 1,000-yard wide receiver his rookie year. I think that's going to continue, man. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars to take a dub at home to start the season. And the Panthers, unfortunately, start their Super Bowl run 0-1 in week 1.
0-1.
I'm going to go Jacksonville 27, Carolina 21. Carolina 21. They beat them by 6.
27-21. So some points.
There's going to be points scored. I think there's going to be some points scored. 48 points, I think, total combined there. I think it's going to be it's going to be a game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is going to be a really good game, which is so funny because last year we would not have said this. You know,
No.
we would not have said this at all about these two teams playing each other, but they have made the right improvements. We saw Bryce Young improve. Travis Hunter joins the Jags, Liam Cohen. Everything you said. All I'll say about this game, Rick, is
God gave us a great big apple, see? And he said, don't touch it. He didn't say touch it once in a while. He didn't say take a nibble when you're hungry. He said, don't touch it. Don't think about touching it. Don't sing about touching it. Don't think about singing about touching it.
I haven't heard that one in a while. That was a good one. That's good.
if you're a betting man, don't.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. And this game is wildly hard to predict. I mean, the Jaguars are 3-point favorites. And this is my don't touch it. So no matter what happens about it, don't have a strong feeling. I am going to take the Jaguars at home. I'm going to go 27-20. Trevor Lawrence and Travis Hunter, I think they're going to be able to exploit Carolina's secondary that was ranked 23rd in the NFL last season. Bryce Young he showed a lot of improvements last year, but maybe he struggles against the guys you mentioned, Josh Allen's and Trayvon Walker supposed to be having a big jump. Remember, he was number 1 overall
a few years ago. Yeah.
Still waiting for that big leap, but I have Jacksonville. I have both of these teams winning more than 8 games. And I think Jacksonville is one of those surprise pop teams with New England. So if they're going to be a surprise pop team, then they're going to have to win this actually in Carolina. I thought this was in Jacksonville.
No, it's in Jacksonville.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everbank Stadium, right?
Yeah, that's Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm with you. I'm going to go Jacksonville, but guys, I would recommend watching this game on Sunday. If you're not, I don't know who to watch this.
But don't touch it. Now, the battle for Ohio, Cincinnati Bengals going to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Historically, the Bengals have started off bad. Yeah. Now, one way that they tried to kind of get around is having Joe Burrow actually play in the preseason, have some starters play in the preseason, and they did. I don't know how much exactly of the preseason they played, but I know that was actually a pretty big deal for this Bengals team to do that. Now, Jamar Chase got paid. T. Higgins got paid. Joe Burrow's been paid. This offense is going to be electric, I think, once again. But keep your eye on Chase Brown, the running back for the Cincinnati Bengals. I think he's poised to have a really, really big year. Yeah, and last year he was decent. Like, it wasn't anything crazy. But last year was definitely like that foundation of like, okay, I think Chase Brown is going to be one of those guys. He can run the ball. He's a 3-down back, and he can catch the ball out from the backfield. So I think they just add another weapon there for Joe Burrow and this Bengals team. Cleveland, they're going Joe Flacco. Their defense is not elite. Myles Garrett is still a problem, but he's also 30 years old. So who knows exactly what his game is going to be like this year. And I'm not saying that he's going to fall off a cliff. I just don't know if he's going to be as dominant as your Micah Parsons usually are. But this defense as a whole, I think they've lost. I'm pretty sure they've lost a couple pieces too. I'm going to go the Bengals win this game and finally kind of end their streak of L's. Yeah. So I'm going the Bengals winning this, and I think it's going to be a close one because while I don't think that the Cleveland Browns defense is elite, I still think it's pretty damn good. I'm going to go 24-21. The Bengals win it by a field goal, and they're the ones who have the last second field goal to win week 1, and they win the Ohio Cup or whatever it is they want to call it. Bengals 24-21 over the Browns.
Yeah, Cleveland being at home, it's not going to help him. I got the Bengals winning 31-14. Wow. I think the Bengals are going to come out and play look, they got to be angry. The year they had last year, fact that they were like, I don't know if they were 1-5, they were something ridiculous. And the fact that if Denver would have lost to the Chiefs, they would have been in the playoffs tells you that they turned around their season. I mean, they won 6 in a row. They had to go on the road and beat Pittsburgh, who was playing for something. And they even were able to do that. Denver was tough. They won in overtime. And they did all of that. Joe Burrow, crazy good season, and they missed the playoffs. And they are so angry about it because if they didn't start so slow, they might have been able to even play a tougher game than the Chiefs did in the Super Bowl. They felt like, man, we don't even have a ticket to the dance. And because of that, they played in the preseason. The very first game, we were like, why is that Joe Burrow throwing to Jamar Chase?
Yeah.
And then you thought about it, and then you went, oh, actually, that makes sense. They start slow every year. They're trying something new. Thank God. I love when teams don't do the same thing over and over. So, the fact that the Bengals have been playing their starters in the preseason, obviously, the point of emphasis is about starting fast. And what better opportunity to do that than a Cleveland team that doesn't really have their quarterback situation figured out. I think the Bengals come into Cleveland and take out their frustrations from last year on a division rival.
Love it. Love it. So Kyle and I are agreeing again with the Bengals taking a dub. Moving on to two teams who have a brand new coach in the for this year. The Raiders, fresh off drafting Ashton Genty and bringing in Geno Smith and Pete Carroll, are going to New England to take on Mike Vrabel and Drake May, who people are expecting are going to have a much, much better year. I'm expecting that as well. We talked about the Raiders earlier when we were doing our AFC West predictions, and outside of Max Crosby, that defense, in my opinion, is not going to be good this year. I don't know exactly how fine-tuned this New England offense is going to be with Drake May as a second-year starter, because he did only play a handful of games last year. He didn't really start the full season like your Bo Nix, your Caleb Williams, your Jane Daniels. So there might be a little bit of rust, and I don't know exactly how much preseason action he got, but I'm still taking the New England Patriots to win this game and get a dub in Mike Vrabel's return to the Patriots organization. I think this is going to be somewhat of a low scoring game. I'm going to go 20-13. Patriots are going to take this dub over the Raiders. I think Genty has a good game, though. I think he has one of those games where you're just like, this guy might be really, really good.
20-13 is what you're going with?
Yep.
I got the same score.
Let's go.
I got the exact same score, and
He's got the Raiders winning.
No, why would I do that?
Because you love the Raiders.
Lies told on Twitter. No, I do not love the Raiders, but yeah, I think the Raiders. Dude, Nick Wright has the Raiders coming in second place in the division, making the playoffs, and then he has the Broncos last in the division.
That's just rage bait right there. I
know, and he's like, Geno Smith is like a top quarter, and I'm like, dude, you know who Nick Wright is, right? The guy with the
long hair, Chiefs fan.
I'm like, Chiefs fan, exactly. You nailed it on the head right there. And it's like he refuses to say that Bo's a good guy. And I'm not getting into it, but all I'm saying is I bet he thinks the Raiders are going to win this game. He feels pretty good about the Raiders. I don't. Yeah. I know that they bring in Genty and stuff, but I think the Patriots are the pop team. I think the Patriots are going to come out and win this game and put themselves on the map. The coach I wanted for Chicago, I was like, I get the Ben Johnson thing, but I wanted for you to get Mike Vrabel. I was Mike Vrabel's the dad that you don't want, but the dad you need, right? It's like, looking back on it, I did need him to be the way he was. It's like New England's got a revamped defense, Milton Williams, Harold Landry. They got a lot of, I think Ramondre Stevenson's going to have a big year. He was paid 2 years ago because he proved to be a 3-down workhorse back that just catch the ball, run the ball, and then he has this down year, and now everyone like forgot about him.
Yeah.
And Vrabel, look what he did with Derrick Henry. I mean, he's going to want to be a physical, tough team, and I think Stevenson's due for a big year. And same thing with their quarterback in Drake May. Like I went back and watched Drake May's highlights, and one thing's for sure, the kid's a gamer. I mean, he continues to make big plays, make really good throws. Like, yeah, he's one of those quarterbacks that you just know he's going to be good in this league. Like, he is one of the good quarterbacks. This is the greatest draft class ever last year, and these guys are going to go out and prove it. Unfortunately for the Raiders, like Geno Smith doesn't measure up to what we're going to find out is in store this year for Drake May. It's not close. So I got the Raiders losing this game. It's in Las Vegas.
No, New England.
It's in New England. Why is everything backwards for me? Okay. So it's in New England, which cements it for me. You said 17-20?
I said 20-13.
20-13. I'm gonna go 17-27.
Oh, okay. All right. So New England put some points up there. I do think Pete Carroll makes it a little difficult, though,
I thought it was in LA. I mean Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, yeah. Okay.
Home crowd 27. I'm gonna write these down too.
I got you. All right. We have got a team with bad vibes in the Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, Mike McDaniel, going into a team with, I think, even worse vibes in the Indianapolis Colts. Ginger, I'm sorry, but Steichen is going to have his hands full with Daniel Jones as his starting quarterback instead of Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson, I believe, is dealing with some sort of injury. I think he had in preseason. I don't really know the details. But Daniel Jones is your starter. You still got Tyler Warren from the draft. Michael Pittman last year was a complete just letdown. Someone who had him on his fantasy. Just a complete letdown wide receiver one. You've got Alec Pierce on your offense. Sure. Maybe your defense will be somewhat better. I've got to believe in the somewhat consistency of Tua Tagovailoa and this offense with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and even Mike McDaniel. Like, I don't think they go into Indianapolis and lose this game. I've got Miami winning this game because I think if everyone's healthy week one, right? Hopefully, you go into week one, you're the Miami Dolphins. You had one of the best offenses 2 seasons ago. And you're going up against the Indianapolis Colts, who are just bad vibes central right now. Like, even worse than you. And you had Tyreek Hill talking shit during the offseason. So I think the Indianapolis Colts are like those silent, like, I don't want to be there right now, silent type. Whereas Tyreek Hill is like the loud, I don't want to be there right now. But I'd prefer Miami well over Indianapolis. I'm going to go Miami taking this dub, and I think they're going to take it very, very easily. I'm going to go Miami 30, Indianapolis 17. Indianapolis Colts lose at home.
Yeah. I hate picking against home openers.
I know.
Because it's like, I always feel like even if they shouldn't, they will. But I'm with you. I'm going with the Dolphins.
There.
Yeah. I think the Dolphins are a team that last year we didn't see Tua. We didn't see we didn't see what we're accustomed to seeing. So now we forgot about him. But remember, 2 years ago, Tua and Tyreek Hill and McDaniels were like the hot topic of the NFL, and they were winning. I saw them drop 70 on that. That was their home opener, and they were 3-0.
Greatest show on surf.
Greatest show on surf. So I'm not saying that that's what it's going to be, but with Devon Achane, and they got the running back they drafted out of Tennessee and Jalen Wright. That dude's 205 pounds and runs a 4.3. Like, I mean,
freight train. God damn.
Yeah. I mean, and Jalen Warren. I mean, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Like, I'm not so ready. I think it's clear that Miami, even though you're right, there's bad vibes on both sides. I think it's clear which team's better.
Yeah.
And right now it's the Miami Dolphins and it's week 1. So, you're getting Tua. So,
Mhm.
um,
Exactly.
give me the Dolphins in a 17-31
Ooh, love
matchup.
it. Love it. Miami's got the biggest question mark, I think, on the defense. But even then, I still think they're able to handle Daniel Jones and the Colts. All right. Moving on to NFC participants. The Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels, Deebo Samuel, freshly paid Terry McLaurin, sorry, and a rookie running back after they got rid of Brian Robinson Jr. I'm forgetting his name right now, but they are opening at home against the New York Giants, Russell Wilson, Malik Neighbors, that crazy defense Giants have, that crazy defense that the Giants have, if we're being honest, right?
Yeah.
They've got a very, very good defense, and they're going to be in Washington at the state capital, at the country's capital, whatever, taking on a very, very good offense there with Washington. This is going to be a very, very close game because I think the Giants defense is going to have Jaden Daniels kind of playing like superhero ball in a sense, right? Like trying to move out of the pocket, trying to make things work. But at the end of it, all that being said, they're going to make him work for it. But Jaden Daniels at the end, I think this is going to be a very close game because of how good the defense is for the Giants. And I think Jaden Daniels and that offense are just, again, they're going to be playing on their heels, but they're going to come through at the end of it. And I think it's going to be very, very close. I think the Commanders take the dub at home at the home opener. I'm going to go 21-10. It's going to be a very, very easy win in terms of the score, but that offense is going to work for those 3 touchdowns against this defense. And 21 points throughout 4 quarters of football for this team who scored 40 plus or whatever it was on the Lions. I think, it's not really something that's going to be expected. I think that Giants defensive line is going to make them work. But at the end of the day, again, Commanders winning it 21-10.
Yeah, I got the Commanders winning this game too, but I have a different score. So the Commanders, just go into the Giants, right? We're going with Russell Wilson this year. Russell Wilson is all the questions that you have. One thing about him though is him against the spread, which by the way, if you don't know, the Commanders are favored 7 points in this game.
Ooh.
Russell Wilson against the spread as an underdog is actually not like he's pretty good to bet on. I think the Commanders win the game, but I think the Giants are able to keep it close. This is a divisional game. Mm-hmm. Last season, Washington finished 2-0 against the Giants, but none of their victories were more than 7. So
wow.
The Giants lost by 3 in a game where their kicker aggravated an injury on the first play of the game. Do you remember that one?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
The Giants, and you talked about that defense, and we're really high on the Commanders right now. But I think even though the Commanders are a really good football team, Terry McLaurin's been out all offseason. There could be some early rust. Deebo hasn't played a game as a Commander yet. Brian Robinson's gone. Now, I think it will come together and click, and maybe the next time they play, they do win by more than 7. But I think this first one's going to be a little bit closer and a little more rust for both teams. I'm seeing a lower scoring game, like a 13-17 victory for the Commanders.
Oh, okay. Okay. And I can buy that as well because the rust is definitely there. The Giants defense is very, very good. And Russell Wilson is just not very good. So
right.
He's gonna play the entire game. This isn't a Spencer Rattler type of like, all right, let's take Russ out in the end of the third. He's gonna play the entire game. It's just not gonna be pretty in my eyes. And this.
I agree.
You know this.
I know this.
All right. Going to a team who I'm familiar with their newly acquired quarterback, the Jets, and Justin Fields, who had an early preseason scare with like a foot injury. It happened to just be like a toe. It wasn't anything serious, but they're starting their new regime, their new team with Justin Fields and Aaron Glenn as their head coach. The Jets, last year with Aaron Rodgers, not very good offensively. Defensively, we're good, but just never seemed like it. And they're returning a lot of their players on the defense. It's just now it's up to the offense with Justin Fields. Can they actually get an offensive plan going and make it consistent? Because if there's one thing that the Jets have not been consistent in, it's been the offense. And they're welcoming a team with their former quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have added who's their other wide receiver they added? Because they got rid of George Pickens.
Yeah, they added DK Metcalf, and did they add
their second one?
They added Jonnu Smith, the tight end.
Jonnu Smith, the tight end, yeah. And I'm actually gonna look now at their depth chart here because I really need to see who their other wide receiver is. Calvin Austin III and Freiermuth as well at tight end. Like Calvin Austin III was pretty damn good last year. Like he was like a nice little surprise for the Steelers, in my opinion. Pittsburgh obviously has a much not improved necessarily, but a pretty damn good defense still with TJ Watt there at the end, kind of manning that. Cameron Hayward as well. This is a tough one for me because I want to take the Steelers, but kind of like what you were saying earlier with home openers, like it's tough to bet against the Jets, but it's also like I know who Justin Fields is, and I know that I have a feeling it's just not going to work out. And really, Mike Tomlin going on the road against a rookie head coach, I think you got to take Mike Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, and that defense there. I think Pittsburgh is going to win this game in Jersey at MetLife. I believe they share the same stadium as the Giants MetLife. Yeah, okay, they do. And I don't think it's going to be a very high scoring game. I'm going to go 21. I'm going to go 21-13. Pittsburgh takes the dub against the Jets.
Okay. This is a tough game for me to predict because this is actually. You're going Pittsburgh?
I'm going Pittsburgh. You got to go Pittsburgh. There's no way you're not going.
I'm going Pittsburgh.
Oh, let's go. Okay. I was like, there's no way this guy's going Justin Fields and the Jets right now.
I have to. I have to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the thing with the Jets is you got the whole quarterback switcheroo. You know what I'm talking about?
What do you mean, like with Justin Fields, the Jets?
Yeah, last year you had Justin Fields on the Steelers and you had Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah. The flip, the switches flip there, yeah.
So I think that in itself is just kind of cool. Where both teams are going to have a shot at like beating up on their own team.
I can see
the Jets are going to be, I hope, I think a better version of themselves last year with their defense. The Steelers are 3-point favorites. So I actually think this is like a realistic line where all the other ones I thought were a little out of control. This is one where I think, this can be a close game. The Jets will probably keep it. The Steelers are going to take some time, whether it was Manning going to Denver or Brady going to Tampa. It always takes a couple weeks until week 5. They're not really like meshing. So I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to go out there and it'll take a little bit of time. I think the Steelers win 13-16.
Oh, okay. Very low scoring game. I like it.
Very.
I was kind of thinking that too. I was kind of thinking like a 17-14, 17-13 game, but I went 21 for the Steelers there. All right. Moving on. The Atlanta Falcons. Michael Penix Jr. is going to be their starting quarterback. Welcoming the Bucs with Baker Mayfield. This one is a division game, and wait, is it? No, Yeah, it is a division game. Yeah, it is a divisional game. I don't know why I thought it was not.
Just froze for a second. You're like,
Yeah. So Penix
Wow.
Jr. Yeah, is going to be starting for the Falcons after the whole Kirk Cousins experiment did not go well. Raheem Morris is hoping that this is kind of the decision that he's going to make that is really going to cement his career as a head coach there with the Falcons. And the Bucks. They're bringing they're Baker Mayfield, and they're reigning. How many years have they won the division? Like 5 years in a row now. Like they're hoping they can begin the season with another divisional win on their way
4.
to another divisional. Is it 4?
It goes back to Tom Brady.
Yeah, it was like 2020, right? Something like that.
Yeah, no, 4
so,
years, I think.
Yeah, so 5. They're going on 5 years. This will be their 6th year that they're hoping to take this dub. They're going against second-year quarterback in Penix. Again, Penix only started 4 games last season, but the Falcons loved what they saw, apparently, and made them their starter over Kirk Cousins, who they paid a shit ton of money for just to be a backup at this point. But Baker Mayfield, again, after the success he's had with Tampa Bay over the last 2 seasons when the division has gone to the playoffs, wants to continue this division stranglehold almost, and they want a dub in Atlanta. For me, I think the Falcons get it done at home.
Wow.
And they actually take a dub against the Bucks. We're talking about Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, ? Who knows how this guy's going to do? The defense is Raheem Morris' specialty. He's a defensive guy. I think they're able to stop Baker Mayfield. They're running back. The Bucks running back. Bucky Irving.
They will not be able to stop Bucky. I'm okay with you going Falcons, but they won't stop Bucky Irving.
I think they'll stop the team from winning, but you're right. Bucky Irving might have a really, really good game. I'm gonna go high scoring here. I think it's gonna be a 27-24 game, and Atlanta takes the dub at home and starts off a season which Michael Penix is gonna be like, I'm the guy. I'm the fucking guy. And Raheem Morris is going to be like, I made that decision. He's the guy. So Falcons taking the dub 27-24 against the Bucks.
I love that. It's crazy because I was considering like, how crazy would it be if I do it? And the reason it probably feels like natural to take the Falcons here is because they won both games last year against Tampa.
They were high scoring games too. The Kirk Cousins game where he had like 500 yards.
So you may be referring, well, there's the Panthers game where it was 44-38. But you're right. I mean, it was 31-26 and it was 30-36. So
yeah,
those are high scoring games. I'm struggling with the Falcons win 3 in a row. Michael Penix Jr., the swag surf. The game's in Atlanta.
Yep.
Give me the Falcons.
Let's go.
Give me the Falcons in a 31-30 victory.
61 points.
It's going to be, the probably the most points scored. Week 1 will most likely be this game right here. But the energy, the division rivalry, I want to go Bucks here. I do. I can't. So I'm just going to listen to my heart and go with the Falcons.
Kyle and I agreeing with the Falcons taking this dub. Let's go over to the West Coast, which is the best coast. And Seattle, the Seahawks, after acquiring $100 million quarterback Sam Darnold, starting off the season at home at the 12 against a division rival, San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy just got paid. Sam Darnold just got paid. There's a lot of moving parts for both of these teams over the offseason. But Seattle gets the home opener here. And Kyle's been to a Seahawks game. I have not yet. Kyle, that stadium gets super fucking loud. Does it not?
That stadium when Russ was going out, and it was one of those moments where like you just step back you're not even making noise, especially as a Broncos fan, because you don't want to contribute. You know, so I had, as a fan, you're probably screaming a lot because it's your team. But when you're an opposing team, you get a lot of time to sit back and soak it in.
Yeah,
I
bet.
And you're absolutely
soaking.
right. It sounded similar. Me and Rick are both former naval aviators, and it sounded much louder than being within 100 feet of an APU on a P3.
That's fucking loud, guys.
I thought we need double hearing protection. It was very loud. It sounds like there's screaming kind of noise, and then all collectively though, it took like that step above where it sounded louder than a human. I don't know how to explain it. It sounded mechanical.
Yeah. And I've driven or like walked past the stadium, and you can feel it, man. Like it is just craziness. And for this to be the home opener again for the Seahawks after acquiring Sam Darnold, kind of getting rid of the old guard and Geno Smith, and then the year prior to that, Pete Carroll, adding the pieces on defense as well. JSN, I think, is going to have a huge game against the 49ers. I've got the Seahawks winning at home, and it's not only the 12. I think the San Francisco 49ers are kind of missing something this year. I know that felt like it last year, but you get rid of Hufanga, you get rid of Greenlaw, you get rid of Deebo Samuel. I think there's a lot missing from the San Francisco 49ers, but I think Pearsall is still going to have a pretty good game, pretty good year, really. But I think the Seahawks is going to be defense as well as this offense is going to be too much, and the Seahawks are going to take the dub. It's going to be a relatively high-scoring game. I'm going to go 26-23. The Seahawks take the dub at home with the 12, and they start the season off 1-0.
That is insane. I think the 49ers, since acquiring like Mike Shanahan, have never beaten the 49ers.
The Seahawks?
Yeah, they get their ass kicked every single time they play them.
Do they really? Oh shit.
I want to see, when is the last time the Seahawks beat the 49ers?
Last year.
November 17th.
Relatively.
Okay.
Recent.
Okay. But before that, the 49ers,
before
that, they won 36-24. Remember, though, this was November. The 49ers were not like whatever.
They were rough last year.
Yeah.
They were rough.
But before that, they played in October, and the Niners won 36-24. Then the year before, they won 28-16. Then the game before that, they won 31-13. The game before that, they won 41-23. The game before that, the Niners won 21-13.
The page is turning, Kyle.
2022, 27-7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they're 8-1 in their last 9.
I like my odds.
You're saying that the page is turning.
Yep.
And I think the 49ers are still a good team. Like I'm looking at the 49ers. I still see CMC. I like the Brian Robinson trade. You and I talked about Ricky Pearsall. We both like him. Yeah. Brandon Ayuk, solid. Kittle is still Kittle.
He's still there.
The defense is still really solid. The best linebacker in Fred Warner. You got Nick Bosa. You got Robert Saleh back. Like the vibes I had last year, I don't really have this year. I don't think they're like an NFC championship team, but I think they're a 10-win team that's going to make a run to win the division because they're well coached. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, they know how to run a football team, and I think they're going to be tough. With that said, yes, the Seattle Seahawks Stadium is one of, if not the loudest in the NFL. The other part of that is it's easy to quiet the stadium.
Yeah.
And I think the 49ers are going to win this game. I think they're going to get out to an opening possession touchdown. And I think that's going to make the Seahawks fans kind of quiet down. And then I think the 49ers just kind of maintain control. I think it's a disappointing start for Sam Darnold and Mike McDonald. And I think it's a divisional game. So I'm going to go 16-23 49ers.
Ooh, okay. All right. Colin and I are disagreeing on that one. He's going to
That's our first
wrong.
disagreement, right?
In a while, actually. Yeah, we've had a couple, but this one, it's been the first one in a while.
Which one did we disagree on?
Let's see.
I'm like, I thought we agreed on everything.
You took New Orleans instead of Cardinals.
Oh, okay. That's the one then.
Yeah, I think I took.
That was the first one.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Okay.
All right. Kyle.
Uh-oh.
Denver opening the season at home against the Tennessee Titans and number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward at quarterback. That's all the Titans got going for them. Let's be real. That and Calvin Ridley. Their defense is okay. But when you compare it to the Denver Broncos defense, they are completely subpar.
Dog shit.
This is absolute dog shit. This should be. I don't want to just disregard an entire NFL team in the Titans, but I think the Denver Broncos should win this one easily. Especially again with Hufanga, with Dre Greenlaw being added to this amazing defense. I think they're going to make Cam Ward work for every single yard he tries to get. But I'm taking the Denver Broncos to win at home, dude. This isn't even a question. It's going to be a rough start for Cam Ward. He has got probably one of the worst starts for a rookie quarterback to go against such a dominating defense in the Denver Broncos, who are probably number 1 ranked in fantasy football right now and probably in the NFL in general. So this is going to be, I think, easy pickings for, lack of a better term, I guess, for the Broncos. Bo Nix, Courtland Sutton, I think they're going to go off together. I think Evan Ingram is going to make a statement in his first game as a Bronco. I'm going Courtland Sutton, Evan Ingram receiving touchdowns in this game against the Tennessee Titans. And I think Bo Nix rushes for 1 as well. And fuck it. Let's give RJ Harvey 75 yards on 10 carries. Let's call it a Denver Broncos destruction of the Tennessee Titans. I'm going Broncos 34, Titans 17.
Wow.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't see the 17. And I live in Nashville. So this is really fun for me because everybody's like, all right, here we go, Cam Ward. They got their Titan stuff on. And it's like, I'm just kind of like the silent enemy that's like,
you're like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Broncos, the only thing the Titans have going for them right now is there's no film on Cam Ward. They're kind of an unknown. They're playing with house money, and the Broncos are such a big favorite. It's almost like a little scary. The Broncos were tied with 3 other teams last year against the spread because Denver's 7.5-point favorites, the biggest favorite this week. They were tied with Detroit, Washington, and the Chargers for the best winning percentage against the spread, which means they were always covering, basically. So they get 7.5. Denver would win by 8 or more this week. So they typically do cover these spreads. And I think 7.5 is a really low number. I wouldn't have been surprised if Denver would have been at 9.5, to be honest. Me neither.
I wouldn't be either.
You're bringing a rookie quarterback, a number 1 overall pick, but still a rookie. And he's going to Denver where rookie quarterbacks and oxygen go to die. He's going into altitude. Now he did play at Washington State before he transferred to Miami. So he knows how to play in altitude, but he's never faced an NFL road crowd whose team finally feels like they have a chance to win the AFC West. The defense is going to be a nightmare. Cam Ward drops back. The pressure, Surtain. I don't know if they're going to score. I don't believe they score a touchdown in this game, Rick.
I'm
going to confidently
see that, though.
say if they score a touchdown, I will actually be surprised. I don't see it. I'm thinking of the pressure Cam Ward's going to have with Nick Benito and Zach Allen. And then I'm thinking of him, throwing the ball, trying to make a play, and Surtain is like, oh my God, what a rookie. Boom. Or Brandon Johnson, Hufanga Greenlaw. This is going to be a disaster. And then I see Bo Nix capitalizing. I think Denver wins this game. I'm going to go, and I hate to do it. I'm knocking on wood. I hope I'm not, embarrassed by this. Because week 1 is such a wild card, but
yeah,
I'm going to say, I don't really care about don't jinx it. That's what bad teams say.
Yep.
I'm not worried about it. Give me the Broncos 31-3.
Woo! Domination. I fucking love it. All right, moving on to the NFC North, the divisional matchup here. Detroit going into Green Bay. Green Bay just got Micah Parsons. Their defense. This is a tough one because their defense was already really good last year. And again, the addition of Jeff Hafley as their defensive coordinator just elevated everything on that defense. But you add Micah Parsons to an already stout defense, it's going to get better. Now, Detroit obviously has their guys on defense, and they got a guy named Aiden Hutchinson who was their defensive MVP before being out for the entire season after a terrible injury. Now, on the offensive sides of the ball here, we got Jordan Love, just paid quarterback of the future for the Green Bay Packers, newly acquired through the draft Matthew Golden as their wide receiver 1, and a bunch of other wide receiver 2s because fuck Green Bay. And on the other side, you got the Lions. With Jared Goff. You got this offense being consistent with Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. So you've got a very experienced playoff team with the Detroit Lions, but also pretty damn experienced team with the Packers under Jordan Love. But they are in Green Bay. The hype, the crowd in Green Bay is going to be crazy, especially after the Micah Parsons addition. Everyone in Green Bay, all Green Bay Packers fans think they are a legit Super Bowl contender, and getting a Micah Parsons in a big deal like that only solidifies that. It pains me to say this, but give me the Green Bay Packers to win this game. I don't know if it's going to be high scoring, so I'm going to kind of level it out here. I think it's going to be 23-20. Green Bay wins. Micah Parsons, first offensive series for the Lions, gets a sack on Jared Goff, and just that whole stadium is going to be roaring. It pains me to say this, but I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Jared Goff is going to be running for his life, and this is the guy who usually stands in the pocket, right?
Yeah.
No Ben Johnson, no Aaron Glenn. It is just that offense out there now by themselves, hoping that they're going to continue to be as good as they've been the last 2 seasons. But Packers are going to win this one. It's going to be a very close divisional game because they've seen each other. These offenses, these defenses have seen each other very consistently for the last 2-3 seasons. 23-20, Green Bay takes it at home.
Yeah, and these are 2 teams that should make the playoffs. I think you're going to get a close game. The Packers, they're winning the series 106-78-7. Yeah. Why is there 7 ties between the Packers and Lions?
That's back in the 50s.
That's a lot of ties.
It is, but I'm positive they go back like decades.
You know what I mean? I don't remember one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're right. All eyes are going to be on Micah Parsons as he suits up for his Packers debut, and he's wearing number 1. So Curly Lambeau, that number hasn't been worn since Curly Lambeau.
Wow.
And I was talking to my brother about it today, and he's like, dude, he's wearing, and I'm like, I hate it. Like, dude, Curly Lambeau was born in 1898. If you want to be like Michael Irvin and, give CeeDee Lamb permission, so be it. But
he's dead.
He's not even like, what are we doing? Like, no, I'm sorry. Micah Parsons should have to pick his own number and earn his own legacy. And then no one can take his number. But whatever. Maybe I'm a boomer for that. I
You
just
are.
like
are.
respecting. I don't want Knicks wearing 7. I don't want any Patriot wearing 12. I don't want any Colt wearing 18. I just think certain numbers should be off limits. And the Lambeau, Curly Lambeau, what are we talking about? I mean, the stadium's named after the guy. What are you going to call it, Parsons Field too?
Yes.
I don't know about that, but I do think the hype, that just tells you how the hype is, right?
Yeah.
He gets that number. The expectations are that big. So he's going to join forces with Edrin Cooper and Xavier McKinney, and that defense is going to be a problem. But Jared Goff, we've been talking a lot about the Packers. He's not going to be short of any options. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta, Gibbs, the David Montgomery. Like, they still have arguably the best group of skill players in the league, Bears. But they are up there.
Nice.
And for Green Bay, Jordan Love, he's going into his 5th season, and I'm looking at the Aiden Hutchinson, Jordan Love, because that's going to be the big thing.
Yeah.
We're talking about Micah Parsons. Aiden Hutchinson's back.
He's a monster too.
And he would have won. I'm glad Surtain got it. He would have won Defensive Player of the Year if he didn't break his leg.
Yeah.
And this year, I think he's going to come back and he's going to be his regular self. It's going to be a tough game. I'm going to take Green Bay 2017.
Ooh, close game. We got 3-point game here, Kyle and I. All right. We got the Rams at home. Kyle's top five Rams. Matthew Stafford, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, Jared Verse on the defensive side. Taking on, at home, the Houston Texans with CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, oh my God, who else? Not Joe. Well, Joe Mixon, but he's injured.
You got my brother played football with his older brother.
Yeah, I keep forgetting his name. I know
Xavier Hutchinson.
Xavier Hutchinson. You got guys on both of these offenses and defenses. We can't forget about the defenses for both of these teams, because both of these defenses are young and they are dominant. You've got Will, what's his name on the Texans?
On the Texans.
Yeah, the defensive guy. They picked him.
Will Anderson Jr.
Will Anderson Jr. on that side. Daniil Hunter as well. And this is just going to be
a tough game, dude.
This is a tough game, and it's in the afternoon slate, so there's going to be more eyes, especially for this one, because it is a very, very tough game. But I got to go the Rams on this one. They're at home. It's Matthew Stafford. It's Puka Nacua. It's Jared Verse. It's God, where's Brazy? Because now he can see how we forget names. Sean McVay. So it is that squad at home, who are also not only predicted division champions within, the NFL media, but like you said, like Super Bowl contenders in your eyes and in the eyes of a lot of people. CJ Stroud obviously had a bit of a down year last year. Some call it a soft, not Kyle, because he doesn't like to say that, but it was a bit of a sophomore slump. And Nico Collins and I'm forgetting the other guy's wide receiver's name, but they got hurt, so they deal with injuries. They've dealt with that. But I'm going to take the Rams, man. I'm going to take the Rams at home with Sean McVay against the Houston Texans. This is going to be a very, very close game, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a low-scoring one. But I'm taking the Rams to take it by 1 point, 21-20. And this is on their final drive, down 20-14. Matthew Stafford, classic 2-minute drill. Bop, bop, bop. Puka Nacua, touchdown. Rams win it 21-20 at home.
Rams win it 21-20. Just like the preseason game against the Chargers last week, 22-23, the Rams won.
Oh, is that what it was? Oh, I didn't know that.
And then the game after that, they won 17-19, so they won by 2.
It's just close shit all day.
And then last year, remember, the Rams opened up against the Lions, and the game went to overtime. We streamed it. It was the season opener. Rams, Detroit Lions. It was a rematch from the divisional round.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. In the Rams, the game ended up going overtime. It was a fantastic game. And then the year before that, they opened up against the Seahawks and they won 30-13. The Rams are a really good starting team. Like they don't take a long time to get going. Like the year before that, they won against the Falcons 31-27. So Sean McVay knows how to get his guys ready.
Yeah.
And for the Texans, yeah, they're a good team. But they opened the season against the Ravens and lost 9-25. The year before that, they beat the Colts 32-31 or something like that. Like the Texans aren't a real fast starting team. And I think that really matters when you got a toss up like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, which club do I think is going to be more ready to go? Stafford I think he's going to have a big year. Now, the back thing's concerning to me. Now, everybody's kind of downplaying it, but if it is an issue, it's going to be week 1 that we would, notice it the most.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, this back issue, it's like, what's going on with it? Is it a real issue, or is he good to go? And nobody's really answering. That's what's hard, is like all the journalists are asking and Stafford's like downplaying it. And this is a lingering issue from last year too. So I think if the Rams are able to get the best version of Stafford, there's not going to be any problems. But this is 2 conference championship contenders, and you're getting a week 1 game. It doesn't get any better than this. It really doesn't. Like this is one of those games like the Jags and the Panthers as 2 potential contenders. This is like, no, 2 contenders. This is like, I think, a top 4 game. You got Lions, Packers, then this, I think. So all eyes, like you said, are going to be on it. But I think Stafford with Kyren Williams and Puka, I think Devontae Adams has his like welcome to LA moment with Stafford. I think he gets the first touchdown.
Oh, I like that.
The Rams' biggest concern is stopping the run. But remember, there's like this weird thing with Mixon on IR because he's got an issue with his ankle. And some people are saying he could miss the whole year.
Yeah.
And some people are like, well, he's on short-term IR, so maybe he's back week 5. It's a mystery. It's kind of like the Najee Harris eyeball. We don't really know what's going on. So, yeah, the Rams have a weakness against the run, but there is no Mixon. So I think the Rams are going to, in the good vibes, I think they're going to get it done, not without a fight. I'm going to go Rams 20, Texans 17. No. Let me go Rams 23, Texans 21.
Oh, okay. So another close game here. Kyle and I agreed on this one. All right. Sunday Night Football rematch of the AFC divisional round last season. We got the Baltimore Ravens going to Buffalo and meeting reigning MVP of the league, Josh Allen. That offense, Keon Coleman, Dalton Kincaid, the somewhat revamped defense of the Buffalo Bills. I think Crafty said earlier, like, aren't they always lacking on the defense? And they are. The Bills, for having a defensive-minded coach, are always lacking something on defense, it seems like. Like, it's either not very good, it's very old, it's not experienced enough, something. Whereas the Baltimore Ravens, on the other hand, have got a roster just full of talent, starting with 2-time MVP winner Lamar Jackson, followed by Derrick Henry. And it just goes on and on from there. This is another tough one, I think, because it is a rematch of that divisional round. But not only that, but it's Buffalo's at home. Josh Allen's the reigning MVP, but like I just said, the Ravens have such a ridiculous roster that even if they are in Buffalo, like, it shouldn't be that tough for them. This is a close game for me, and I think it's going to be a high-scoring one. I think Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen show the world on Sunday Night Football Week 1 why they're MVPs of the league and why they've been in the playoffs several years in a row and just how much they mean to their teams on the offense side of the ball. I'm going to go 34-31. Baltimore Ravens taking the dub against the Buffalo Bills. The roster is just ridiculous to me, dude. 34-31 Ravens. It's going to be a very close game. This one goes up to the end, just like last year, week 1, the Ravens did against the Chiefs, where Isaiah likely missed it by a toe or whatever the hell it was, by a singular toe. They missed the dub against the Chiefs, which would have changed the entire landscape of the NFL, I think, after that. But the Baltimore Ravens get their week 1 win, week 1 revenge, I guess you can call it in a sense, because they did lose to Buffalo 27-25 in that divisional round. And then Buffalo went on to lose to the Chiefs. So I think Baltimore comes in, plays a very, very good game, very close game, and they end up winning 34-31 in Buffalo.
Yeah, it's not crazy. The Ravens are coming off a 12-5 season. The Bills lost the AFC title game, so they owe their fans a big win. This is going to be in Buffalo. It's a tough one. I mean, the Ravens have a good defense, but their defense will they get much better as the season goes on. I mean, this is like what happened last season, where remember the Steelers were like running away with the division, and everybody was like, Baltimore is going to catch up, because Baltimore was losing. I think they were like 1-3 when it was week 4. And
it was a bad record. It was.
And then they kind of figured it out. Well, they're not going to have that, because this year their defense is already figured out. In early season games, I tend to go with defenses when I'm torn. And I think Baltimore has the better defense in this game. I think Lamar is going to be, at least one rushing score in this game, probably a couple touchdown passes to go along with it. The Ravens are going to need points to stay ahead of the Bills curve, because Buffalo is going to score points. Even though the defense is good, you can't stop Josh Allen. You can only try to contain him, but even then, you really can't. There was an injury scare a week ago, but Lamar Jackson should be ready to go for the Bills. I don't know if you heard about this, but John Harbaugh said he looked good in practice, according to the website. So Lamar Jackson, if he was a little bit injured, that would give me a reason to go Buffalo. But Harbaugh is saying he's good to go. And then Mark Andrews, of course, he drops the 2-point conversion that would have sent the game into overtime. I think he gets a touchdown in this game.
Oh,
I think
brings it back into the good graces of Ravens fans.
Yeah. But overall, I think this is going to be an absolute just amazing game, and it'll be the big like football's back moment for everybody. And we'll already have it, but this will just be even better. It's like when you see an amazing movie and the credits roll, and then there's more of the movie, and you're like, oh, we got more.
Or it's so good, even as the credits roll, you're just like, wow, just standing there in amazement.
It should come down to the final minutes. The win for the Baltimore Ravens, I think, is going to help more than a loss would hurt the Bills, if that makes sense. I think Buffalo is going to be a good team this year. I would actually give me the Bills.
Oh, Kyle's moving it to the Bills. He's giving it
Give
to
me
Josh
the Buffalo
Allen.
Bills. Yes, Mark Andrews gets a touchdown. Yes, Lamar Jackson gets a touchdown, two touchdown passes. But at the end of the day, Superman is going to put his cape on, and Buffalo is going to say, we're 2-0, bastards. We're 2-0. Yeah, I'm going to go 38-35 Buffalo.
Oh, God, what a fucking game that's going to be. Sunday Night Football, baby. Can't wait. And you can all catch it here. You guys can all catch it here, too.
I wanted to go Ravens, and I said, ew, why would you do that? you got Buffalo here. It's not like we don't have I can buy Buffalo. Come on.
I guess. All right. Capping week 1 of the NFL off.
The Bears.
The Bears are hosting the Minnesota Vikings. Kevin O'Connell, JJ McCarthy, Justin Jefferson, not Addison because he's suspended. New look Bears, Ben Johnson head coach, Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet, Colston Loveland, Luther Burden III, capped off with DJ Moore, and hopefully a much, much better defense with their star being Jalen Johnson. This is going to be a very good Monday Night Football game. You got a lot of things going on between these two franchises. Again, obviously all the things I mentioned with Ben Johnson going on in the Bears, brand new staff, brand new outlook. They finally paid the guy that they were supposed to pay. And on the other side with the Minnesota Vikings, you got JJ McCarthy, who was injured all of last year, his rookie year, finally starting after a successful year that Sam Darnold had with the Vikings. But Kevin O'Connell said, you know what? I can make JJ McCarthy that and better. So Monday Night Football is going to be a very, very good kind of look as to how JJ McCarthy is going to be, because at Michigan, we knew he didn't throw it a lot. It was a lot of running the ball, and it was a lot of kind of like short passes, nothing crazy for JJ McCarthy to do. And also, he is an Illinois guy. He grew up in the suburb of Chicago. So he probably grew up a Bears fan, went to Michigan, and is now in Minnesota taking the starting quarterback role there. So there's a lot of big connections here. Ben Johnson used to go to Cubs games. It's a crazy connection type of game. Monday Night Football to cap it all off. I mean, I think this is a really good divisional matchup too. Again, taking all of what I just said into account as well. There's a lot of questions on the Bears side. There's a lot of really just one big question on the Viking side. Yeah. And for the Bears, it's, can Caleb Williams do it? Can all these offensive weapons mesh together? Can Ben Johnson be a head coach and an offensive coordinator at the same time? Only time will tell. But Monday Night Football, give me the fucking Bears to start the season off 1-0. Caleb Williams isn't throwing for 93 yards week 1 like he did last year. He's throwing for 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 to Colston, 1 to DJ Moore, 1 to Roma Dunze. Give me the Bears to beat the Minnesota Vikings after what Ben Johnson called just a whirlwind of defense given to Caleb Williams over training camp and the offseason to prepare him for this very Brian Flores type of defense in the Minnesota Vikings. He's prepared him for week 1, and he wants him to go that it is going to be a ton thrown at him. Exotic defenses, coverages, everything. And Caleb Williams is going to be prepared, and he's going to have a fucking hell of a game. Now, on the other side with the Minnesota Vikings, are they going to lose this game? They are. But they're not. But they're going to put up a really good fight, especially on the defensive side. And an entire offseason with JJ McCarthy and Kevin O'Connell, that's only good. That is only good for JJ McCarthy. It is only a positive for him moving forward in his very young career. I think the Bears are winning this game, but I think the offense for the Minnesota Vikings, as well as the defense, puts up a really, really good fight. I'm going Bears 27, Vikings 20. They win by a touchdown. I think the defense for the Bears is going to make a really, really big stop in crunch time in the fourth quarter, and they prevent them from tying it up and going in overtime. 27-20. Bears win on Monday Night Football week 1, baby. Ben Johnson train goes. It's starting, baby boy. Let's go. Bear down.
Yeah, and the over-under's 45 points.
Yeah, it went down from 47.5, I believe.
Yeah, now it's at 45, and I would still take the under in this game.
Really?
I mean, 2023 would be an under, and I don't think more points are being scored than that. I mean, both teams are going to be looking to set the tone early because we know that the NFC North is going to be really competitive. So even though it's week 1, there is no grace period. These games matter, and they will matter later. The Bears are going to lean on home field advantage. For the Vikings, look, this Brian Flores defense is an issue.
Yeah.
I was watching the quarterback thing on Netflix, and I saw the quarterbacks talking about Brian Flores, and they were like, we are up at 10, 11 o'clock just preparing, because I know that he's going to throw things at me. And these are veterans like Kirk Cousins and Caleb Williams going into year 2. It's like, this is the worst thing the doctor could order, in my opinion.
For year 2, week 1?
It's it was like Bo Nix going into Seattle week 1 and playing the defense. Because that's what Brian Flores is all about. This is a guy that has his guys flying around, but he is the best in the NFL at one thing, and it's confusing the hell out of a quarterback. And I think he's going to go out there and I think the Vikings defense is going to make Caleb Williams struggle a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bears are working in a new system with Ben Johnson, and he's had success against the Vikings in Detroit, which matters. But I don't think Caleb Williams is at where Jared Goff was the last couple of years yet.
100%.
So I think there's a steep learning curve here in week 1. And I think the Bears, because they're going to play the Lions again, or I'm sorry, the Vikings later in the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's almost like if I were to say Vikings win this one, then I would say then I'm taking the Bears in the next one, because I feel like the Bears are going to get better as the season goes on. This is a really tough opening game. The Bears defense, they were respectable last year. They had a pass rush that was pretty strong. They disrupted quarterbacks. They got 24 takeaways. Now Chicago might not have the same defense in 2025 because I think there's some concerns in their secondary being kind of soft. I don't know if you are worried about your secondary at all.
Not really. Although Jaquan Brisker's health, safety worries me. Kevin Byard being a little bit older worries me a little bit. But the defensive backs, Tyreek Stevenson, I think is going to learn. And Jalen Johnson is just, I don't know, like he's got an NFI still.
Yeah.
But I like our depth at secondary.
Okay. And then the biggest question mark too is McCarthy, because he's got a great offensive line in front of him. The wide receiver core is really thin at this point, but you still got TJ Hawkinson and Justin Jefferson. And if I go, okay, well, which defense do I trust more? It's the Brian Flores in the Vikings. And then I go, okay, well, let's look at the offense. I like Ben Johnson. I like the weapons and the offense better with the Bears, but I think Kevin O'Connell, I mean, he's proven to be a top 5 head coach, play caller in the NFL.
Yeah.
So I hate to do this.
Fuck you.
I will take the Bears next time the Vikings play unless something dramatically changes. But I think that Bears and Vikings split the series this year, with the Vikings getting the first one. It's just a really tough. It's not a good situation for all this new stuff going on.
I get it.
Go play Brian Flores. Like, what?
Yeah.
But you know what? At least we're gonna learn, because if Caleb goes out there and balls out, it's on. It's on.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
Like, you know, you're going to the playoffs if that happens.
Oh, 100%. And real quick, I'm just gonna go back to this. I think Cam Ward has an amazing game. I don't. Kyle hates me. It's fine. No, thank you. This is great, dude, because it's we're in week 1. Regardless of how our predictions go, like, it's week 1. Football is back, baby. We're gonna be here Sunday. We're gonna be here Monday. Kyle, I believe you are doing the Thursday night game.
Yeah.
I won't be, because I'll be working. TBD on Friday night.
Okay.
Or are you doing?
Yep.
Okay. So you'll be Thursday and Friday. Obviously, I'm going to be here Sunday for our first full Sunday slate.
I might be doing one of them because I have my baby shower on Saturday. So all my family is flying into town on Thursday.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
I think Thursday night I'll be doing one of them. I don't know if I'll be able to do both. It's all TBD.
Oh yeah, TBD for sure. Like Thursday night or Friday night, Kyle will be more than likely streaming one of those for sure. But Sunday slate, I will definitely be here. Monday night football, Sunday night football will definitely be here. It's going to be week 1, baby. It's going to be exciting. So that was our week 1 predictions. And Kyle, I think it's time for the motherfucking. Almost 4 hours, guys. Almost 4. Thank you to everybody who's sticking around, because we have had consistently like 6-7 people in this stream. Thank you for sticking.
All right, so I gave you guys breaking news that Saquon Barkley was the number 1 player in the top 100, but I thought, well, for my chives, I'm going to give you the list. Okay, so Saquon Barkley comes in at number 1. Rick, who do you think's the number 2?
offensive guy, skill player?
I can't tell you that. It's
Oh,
the
God damn
second
it.
best player in the NFL.
Oh my God. Oh fuck. I don't know. Josh Allen.
Lamar Jackson.
Oh, that was gonna be my next one. That was gonna be my next one.
Lamar Jackson comes in at number 2. They said he continues to raise the bar as one of the most dynamic players the NFL has ever seen.
True.
Josh Allen, number 3. He's compiled eye-popping numbers in the past seasons, a more calculated version of himself, and he is at his highest standing in the top 100 ever. You know who we haven't said yet is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, true.
Things are different, and this is the players that vote this. So, look, I'm not the only one noticing that Mahomes.
I was like, see.
Because in 2018, it was like the consensus number 1 was Mahomes.
Yeah.
Number 4, Jamar Chase. First wide receiver on the list, but he makes his. I mean, every year he like leads the NFL and everything. He is the best wide receiver in the NFL, I believe. He's a future Hall of Famer, and when it's all said and done, I'm going to say something crazy. He might be considered the greatest of all time.
Oh, Justin Jefferson might have some words for you, but yeah.
Yeah, but Justin Jefferson, he doesn't have Joe Burrow.
Exactly.
Number 5 is Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes posted career low numbers in his 7th season as a starter, but the respect he garners from his peers maintains a top 10 ranking within the top 100. That streak began in 2019 after his first year as the Chiefs QB1. The 2-time most valuable player once again faced adversity with the depleted receiving corps, resulting in the second straight year without a 1,000-yard pass catcher. So 2 years in a row, no receiver has had 1,000 receiving yards for the Chiefs. Of course, that didn't prevent Mahomes from 15-1 record and going to his 3rd straight Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Number 6, Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow became the 3rd quarterback in NFL history to have at least 4,500 passing yards and 40 touchdowns with throwing fewer than 10 interceptions.
My God.
Joining Tom Brady in 2007 and Aaron Rodgers in 2011, who, by the way, were both rewarded with the MVP, which Joe Burrow would have won if his defense was even mid.
Just mid.
Let me just flush the season down the toilet. No playoffs.
They want to.
Derrick Henry comes in at number 7. At number 8, it was Myles Garrett. At number 9, it was Justin Jefferson. And at number 10, it was Patrick Surtain. Hey, how come when you win Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett's in front of you?
I froze. If you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. I
froze or you froze?
I still see me. Oh, I see you too.
Say that one more time. How come what?
How come Myles Garrett is ahead of Surtain? Didn't Surtain win Defensive Player of the Year?
He did. I don't understand. Maybe just the physicality as an edge rusher versus a cornerback?
They said Surtain tops all defensive backs ranked this year after a coming-of-age season that accumulated a Defensive Player of the Year award. Opposing quarterbacks were weary to throw Surtain's way thanks to his sticky coverage. It prevented the 25-year-old from filling the stat sheet, but in-depth numbers shows what he did not allow: 50 or more receiving yards in any game. According to Next Gen Stats, that's especially eye-opening considering Surtain was assigned to each team's top target, which included Jamar Chase, Mike Evans, DK Metcalf, Garrett Wilson, Jerry Jeudy. And in 2020, no, he didn't cover Jerry Jeudy. That was the problem. But Surtain
exactly. Yeah.
Highlighted his career best season in Week 5 victory over the Raiders, returning one of his 2 picks for 100 yards. With Surtain's presence enveloping half the field, the Broncos defense generated a league-high 63 sacks in 2024 and led Denver to its first postseason appearance in a decade. And Myles Garrett was 2 spots above him.
Kyle's already got. Remember, this is players. This is players.
It is players, but maybe it's because Myles Garrett has been doing it longer.
That also, maybe.
I mean, and he's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, who cares? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, what would Surtain have to do to swap with Garrett? I mean, he couldn't really do anything more than he's already doing. The fans just decide one year, like, let's switch it. It's
Yeah.
like they're both incredible. There's no right or wrong answer. It's
They're
just
both
like you win Defensive Player of the Year. I think that year you should get the nod.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. And
But yeah,
the only thing that matters is that he's still really fucking dominant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what do you think of the top 10? Josh Allen being behind Lamar, are you vibing with it? He won MVP. It's kind of the same thing with Surtain, where it's like,
Yes, but you look at the stats too. Lamar had well over more passing touchdowns, not as many rushing yards, and I don't know how many rushing touchdowns, but you saw how important Josh Allen was versus Lamar Jackson had a plethora of offensive talent that got them to where they were last year. Whereas Josh Allen was like, I'm doing it with rookie Keon Coleman, second year Dalton Kincaid, and Khalil Shakur. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And James Cook, who we just got this past season, and we haven't had a running back in forever. Like, there was a lot of guys that proved themselves on the Bills last year, but Josh Allen was like, without Josh Allen, the Bills don't go to the playoffs. Without Lamar Jackson for a few games, maybe they do. I don't, maybe they don't win the 13, 14 games or whatever it is that they won, but maybe I'm still thinking they're a good team without Lamar Jackson. Whereas the Bills,
they would.
Yeah. Whereas the Bills, they need Josh Allen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Yeah.
And they rely solely on, I mean, Josh Allen's like, he is Buffalo, John
Exactly.
Harbaugh has had that. He runs the program very well. Like, they're always going to be, pretty good. After
100%.
Mahomes, Jared Goff was the next best quarterback at 15th. And that means Jalen Hurts was 19th. And he got demoted 4 spots because last year he was 15th and they dropped him. But he had less than 3,000 passing yards. So,
okay.
That might be why.
Yeah, they ran the ball a shit ton. I mean, you had Saquon. What else are you going to do, right? So I get it.
But I'm just trying to see if there was one Chicago Bear in the top 100, because I think there should have been at least a couple.
DJ Moore,
he made it.
Yeah, I think.
What about on defense? Your corner,
maybe Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he made it. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure.
How do you spell Jalen?
Jaylon.
Okay, that's how I figured.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he made it. I don't think DJ Moore made it this year, actually.
He didn't make it this year.
No. Oh, okay. Okay. That's weird. He had a pretty good year this year in terms of like completion percentage, things like that.
There's a big year for Chicago.
Yeah, there's Bears on there for sure, or at least a Bear. I'm pretty sure there is.
It's weird because your offense is like the best skill players in the league.
It's ridiculous the skill players we have.
DJ Moore, Rome Odunze,
Cole Kmet, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore.
All you guys really need though, Caleb's got to be the guy, and you need a Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, we're hoping DeAndre Swift becomes that.
Well, there's no becoming. Like, he's already. It's like he's not going to get better. He's capable of it.
I think so.
I've seen him do it. Like, he just needs to. Like, we'll know this year. If he doesn't have 1,000 yards, then the Bears are going to move off of him. But he's like, I feel like if he was in Detroit, he would be what Montgomery is. Or more like what Jahmyr Gibbs is.
I think he's more of like a Austin
Jalen Warren, Austin Eckler.
Yeah, I think he's more of an Austin Eckler type. I don't necessarily think he's a 3-down back, and I don't think Austin Eckler's ever been considered a 3-down back. It's just like this guy has speed and can catch the ball from the backfield and get yak. You know what I mean? So I think that's DeAndre Swift, but he also had a really bad offensive line last year. So
Gus Edwards is available to be signed.
Yeah, and we got Kyle Monungai, the guy from Rutgers. So we're trying to strike gold, just like Isaiah Pacheco did with the Chiefs. So we'll see. I think Kyle Monungai is more of a 3-down guy versus DeAndre Swift and Roshan Johnson.
Well, with the Vikings,
Yeah.
you got the crazy blitz packages. The only way to really, contain that is to run the football.
Exactly.
So we're going to find out, because obviously if they don't want to make life hell for Caleb, it starts with making them respect the running game.
100%.
So that their Bears are going to come out and say, we got to run the football. And then now we know, okay, well, if they can't do it, it's not because they didn't want to. We know they wanted to.
Yeah.
So we'll know right away.
100%. Could not agree more. So hopefully they can get the run established. 1 week from today, we got Monday.
We will know that the Bears won this time next week.
Exactly. Thank you guys, everybody, so much. We are going on almost 4 hours. Like I said, we had a consistent. Yeah, I think it's a record outside of like streaming games and like the Super Bowl and things like that. This is just a straight stream of predictions, of top 5, of Kyle and I shooting the shit. So thank you guys. Honestly, thank you guys so much for being here. Like I said, we've consistently had like 5, 6, 7 people, and KC, Jinja, Nick, Crafty, Lil E, Arnie, we had Brazy on here, we had Burton Burger on here. Like, it was just a great kind of like stream right before the season begins on Thursday. So thank you guys again so much for being here. We appreciate all the comments, all the likes. Please hit a like on this stream before you get out of here. Hit that like, hit that follow, hit that subscribe. We would appreciate all of that. And go follow us on X at Only Football Pod and at NFL with Kyle. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch. The season is about to begin, guys, and it is going to be another great one. I can feel it. I feel it in my balls. So does Kyle. This is going to be another great season. Kyle, you got anything before we get out of here?
Just that with the off season being finished and everything, I just wanted to say, guys, it was another successful off season, and I appreciate you guys sticking through, because I know with the off season it can be boring and there's other things that you could be doing, but you guys decided that you were going to continue to be here and be a part of the long off season. But hopefully you guys will enjoy having some. Just got a little music free in the background. That's supposed to be in the background.
Okay.
How do we? There we go. So, hopefully you guys are ready to sit back and enjoy an amazing 2025 season, because you guys deserved it. You came through the off season with us again, going into year 4, right, Rick?
Year 4 of the Only Football Podcast. Thank you guys again so much for being here. Long live Bill. Bill, we love you. We love you forever.
Go Giants this year for Bill. First game since Bill.
Yeah, first game since Bill. You're right. So long live Bill. Bill will always love you. Thank you so much, guys. And Kyle, always a good time, brother.
Always a good time.